Y'all not used to us starting this close to on time. You're not used to. Listen, I'm turning over a new leaf. You know what I'm saying? It's a leap year. You know what I'm saying? It's still February. We got a very special guest today. I'm gonna introduce him later, man. We got a very special guest for Black History Month. Let's get into the show. Oh yeah. Welcome to episode 92 of the Victory Talk podcast. This is the only podcast that's 100% dedicated to helping you build your money, your muscle, and your mindset. Notice I ain't say girls, because if you handle those three things, man, you're gonna have too many girls. That's gonna be your problem. Too many girls. No más chicas, por favor. You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest today, but I'm gonna introduce him in a minute. But first, you have to have a word from our sponsors, right? Oh, and before we sponsor, I got a special message. It's a public service announcement. All my bald brothers, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking mostly to the black guys, because I know, like, when white guys start losing their hair, they start panicking. You know what I'm saying? It's like a big deal. But you know, we've been doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? We had DMX, fucking Jordan, you know, Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking Tyrese was a sex symbol with a bald head, man. But anyway, it's cool for us, right? Brothers, listen to me. When you're shaving your head, no matter how good the song is that you're playing in the bathroom, do not dance while you're shaving your head, or you're gonna have some of this action. All right, that's a pro tip. All right, now let's get to the sponsors. The first sponsor for this show, for this episode, is Thot Repellent. Thot Repellent is the easy to apply spray that keeps the hose away. Because here's the thing, guys. I see it happening already. There's 92 episodes. People have been watching the Victory the Victory Talk podcast, joining the free Discord where I got free courses in there on how to build your money, muscle, and mindset. One called the Baller Mindset course. It's amazing. It's free. Better than almost all the paid courses you'll ever fucking buy. Right? And it's free. And once you start implementing that and improving your life, balling on these hoes, stunting on these motherfuckers, listen, you're just gonna be too many girls. And some of them are gonna have nefarious intentions, right? That's why we developed Thot Repellent. All right. So me and Nima, you know, he's my Iranian scientist. He just does this podcast thing. This video editing thing is like his part-time. This is like his hobby. Really, he's an Iranian scientist. You know, he was working on some fucking wild shit, but we said, listen, come over here, man. Help society. And we got him over here. And the main reason Nima is here, the only reason he's in America, is to work on his Thot Repellent. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's his passion. So how it works is, guys, regular good women, wholesome women, the kind of women you want to inseminate. And you're the kind of one you want to be the host to your offspring, right? And maybe even marry. You a fucking loser. I'm just playing. I mean, getting married is kind of gay. Marrying a woman's like the gayest shit you can do. But anyway, you might want to marry them. Those girls, they're cool, right? They won't be affected by Thot Repellent. The good women, right? But man, we've specifically engineered this, that it repels all thoughts, sluts, slut hoes, whores, skeezers, Jezebels, and Puerto Ricans. It's specifically designed for their DNA, right? So this is coming to market. All your Superchats go towards research and development for Thot Repellent, right? Because we need to save the ballers, man. I'm telling you guys, every day in America, a baller falls victim to one of these stocks. Tom Brady, my man won 7 Super Bowls, mad MVPs. This bitch cheated on him with the goddamn karate teacher, goddamn karate coach, and she gets half his shit. No. Yeah, it's really happened. Really happened, right? Had he had Thot Repellent, it wouldn't have happened. Because it's almost like Thot Detector. Some of these chicks, man, they hide in their thoughtness, right? They hide in it. And then next thing you know, you marry one of them. She's like, I'm fucking the karate coach. Give me half your shit. It can happen to you. But if you had some Thot Repellent, she'd be trying to act nice. And then next thing you know, she gets a whiff of you and she starts convulsing. All your super chats go towards research into this. Now, here's the thing, guys. There are a few side effects, nothing major, but the FDA says we have to tell you what the side effects are. So side effects include, but are not limited to, wet nightmares, involuntary Wakanda accent. We have to stop these thoughts. That's how it works. Male camel toe. Dominican fashion. Baby squirrel breath. Anderson Cooper hair. Gaza strip tease. Excuse me. British food. Cookie Monster hair. Sleep break dancing. And Idris elbow. All right. Listen, small price to pay. We're going to get those. We're going to handle those side effects. Don't worry. We need your help. All your super chats, 100% of them go towards research and develop for Thot Repellent. This is really coming out. They think it's a joke, but it's not. All right. Now, our second sponsor is the newsletter. Is the amazing newsletter. Everybody's talking about it. Everyone loves it. People can't get enough of it. Big Money Methods. This is a newsletter put together by me and the homies. And every week you're going to get a free email. It's free. It's 100% free. Well, with articles about how you can get some more of this money, man. You know what I'm saying? So boom, I just wrote this one. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of fear of missing out, joy of missing out. You see what I did there? Jomo. Like a Jomo-sexual. Jomo. Joy of missing out. You'll understand when you read it. You know what I'm saying? You want to join, you want to get this newsletter, right? Sign up. It's 100% free. All right. Listen, guys, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest, the last guest for Black History Month. All right. I feel like it was important to bring him on, you know. This is a guy I've known for a long time, maybe like, I don't know, close to a decade. Saw this brother when he was actually kind of just getting started in YouTube. He had already had some following. And, you know, I was kind of just getting started too. Like we met each other early in our journey. We became friends, you know, and it's been, you know, relationship went through up and downs like all relationships. but we're adults now, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the word legend gets thrown around a lot, man. This brother changed the game in many respects. He did some things that people are still copying off of to this day, trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying? He's a fucking legend when it comes to YouTube fitness. My friend, the big homie, Greg O'Gallagher, Kinobody. What up, homie?
What's up, bro? What's up, dude?
I'm glad to have you, man.
Dude, I'm pumped to be here, man.
Yeah,
I'm pumped to do this.
Hey, man, we're all happy to have you, man. You live in Miami now.
I have a place here, and I'm basically going to be here for half the year.
Oh,
yeah. I'm doing 6 months in Miami.
That's the move. I did that a long time ago. In 2007, that was going to be my plan for when I lived in New York. So I spent one winter here, and I was going to go back and forth to New York. But then the fucking global economy shut down in 2008, and it kind of altered my plans a little bit. But it's good. It's a good plan.
Yeah. No, I've talked to some people that can't handle move. Like when they move a lot, they lose productivity.
Yeah. How do you handle it? You know, because we might as well start. I take about last year I took about 60 flights. I was supposed to say, about 60 flights.
Yeah.
And but before that, you know, some years I would take over 100, right? Are you able to handle the productivity?
Yeah, I do probably similar. I average about probably 50 plus flights a year.
Jesus.
And I do a lot of delegation. So, and when I work hard, I work very, very hard, but I don't need to be I don't need to be on the ball 10 hours a day. I delegate a lot.
Working smarter, not harder.
Like do you remember when probably before we made any business online, there was a book called 4 Hour Workweek.
Yeah, that was the book I read. I remember I was working for a moving company and I read that book and I was like, man, I need to get started.
Yeah, I read that book too when I was maybe 18, 19. And to me, that's way too extreme. Working 4 hours a week is a little insane.
Yeah, I don't think he meant it like literally. He meant like, from what I understand, he says this like, you can work as much as you want, but it's about getting a week's worth of productivity done within 4 hours.
Right.
I think that's how he meant. I've heard him say that.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
It's not quite literal, but
it's a good title.
I think there were some case studies of running like a successful business with just 4 hours a week.
Wow.
I'm kind of the middle ground. Some days I'll work 12 hours. Some days I'll work 4 hours.
Because you got a lot of leverage now.
Yeah. One of my friends in Toronto is very successful. We do 4 hours, 4 days a week. So 16 hours. Yeah. That's still not very much. I prefer sort of that middle ground.
All right. Yeah. Once you get to a certain level, you can do shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll work every single day though. I never do a full day off.
Yeah, me neither.
Never.
I wouldn't want to. I kind of hate myself if I do this.
Yeah. So what else am I going to do here? Like, what am I
enjoy work. I mean, there's a lot of shit you could do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit you could do. So tell me, man, what's going on right now? There's a lot of stuff we want to talk about, man. Okay. But like, what's changing your life? What made you decide to move to Miami besides the Victory Talk podcast?
This was like the second biggest reason
why.
Sense. Yeah, to come on here. But honestly, I spent probably, I've lived in Canada my whole life.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I didn't feel 100% inspired in Canada. Even when I hate to even just bring up the past, 3 years of the C-19. I hate to bring that up, but like that was like kind of showed Canada's true colors. Because it was on insane lockdown. I knew I wanted to get out of Canada. But my sort of plan is to do half Miami and then spend some time in Europe and Mexico. I'm gonna kind of do like a trifecta sort of slow rotation plan.
Where in Europe?
I'm getting a place in Spain for a few months, and then
the homie was just on here, man.
Who?
He does 10,000 calories, 20,000 calories all the time.
Which guy is that? 10,000 calories.
He does that all the time. It's like
have you ever done the 10,000 calorie challenge?
Never successfully.
You tried.
What's the guy's name? Why is my boy? We went to the Drake concert and everything. I don't know why his name is escaping.
Damn, bro.
I know, man.
He's gonna be pissed when he sees
He's
this.
like Scottish or some shit. He sounds like Conor McGregor. Pancake, man. He makes pancakes.
Okay.
Fuck. This is not good content. We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that for
Other
sure.
people are doing that, man.
Yeah. It's just honestly, I find life very exciting and fulfilling when you have some change. If I'm in the same place for 4 to 6 months straight, it's harder to really stay creative. One of the first things I did, which was I was always very big on setting goals, right? My father like really stressed the importance of set goals. And I was in Mexico when I was 23, and my business is probably right sort of before we connected. And my business was at a good level. I was making a full-time income. I was doing very well by normal standards. And I wrote down like my goals, some business goals, some fitness goals, some travel goals, whatever, relationship goals, whatever it was. And I wrote down a list of 10 things. And it was very powerful because when I was writing down these goals, I was in the beach in Mexico. I just felt so calm, so alive. So I was in it. My mind was open. I wasn't just in my Toronto place, right? And every single goal came true. And so I think there's something powerful about changing your environment because you kind of get locked in the same place.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. There's something powerful about changing. The environment is one of the ways that you can control like your state. You know, like when you change your environment, it changes your state. The way, you know, like it's like you're around certain people, you might feel different than if you're around different people or different areas. You know?
People don't talk about this enough. Even when I was 19, I dropped out of university and I felt very disenfranchised. What am I going to do? I had a lot of family members and friends being like, "You're messing your life up. You're fucking your life up." And I had all of this kind of, and it's hard to really be in that negative state and improve. I mean, you can do it. I took action, but like the best thing I did was actually I left and I just found an apartment in LA for, 4 months. And I was very focused. Like back in 2011, there wasn't social media. It was very hard to distract yourself. I think my apartment didn't have Wi-Fi for the first month. Yeah. So it was like pure focus. Right. And I had some like little job at a gym for a while there, but like I was totally focused. I couldn't go on the internet really. I had to like go to a coffee shop to use the internet. And I just was like planning, brainstorming, working, writing. And I was in this whole new environment. My mind felt so open, so malleable, like anything's possible. I'm here in LA. So there is a lot of power in, if you're feeling stuck, if you can find a way to even just for a day, leave, change your environment. Because I mean, guys like Joseph Dispenza, and I hate to get too woo-woo too.
No, go for it.
Go for it. Okay.
Man. Sometimes we get woo-woo here, man. Sometimes we break out the crystals.
There's
Nima starts burning sage. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get the sage in here. I'm balanced. I think there is something to this. But when you have a goal and when you're visualizing and when, the strongest it will ever be is when your mood feels amazing. If you're visualizing and you're thinking of a goal you're trying to work towards, if you don't feel anything, that's not real.
I'm gonna show you something. Keep going. Something that's gonna help.
If you think about a goal and you're visualizing achieving that goal, realizing that goal, and you feel empowered, you feel fulfilled, you feel it like deep in your blood, like you're gonna achieve it. It's gonna happen.
Well, tell me more about that. Okay. What you gotta like? I know what you're saying, but I want you to explain it. Because you still got to do action, right? Like, tell me more about where you're going with that.
Yeah, of course, you still have to do action. You still have. You can't just sit down.
No. I know you weren't saying that, but I kind of just wanted to clarify that. Well, people started talking crazy about
the simplest way to break it down is that your internal reality reflects your external world and vice versa. So if in your internal reality, you see yourself and you feel yourself as someone that's crushing it, you're successful, you're realizing and living your dreams, you're empowered. And also part of this is really the understanding that whatever goal you have, whether it's a money goal, a fitness goal, everything's going to have two sides. So, when you make more money, you also have more problems, You
know what, man? The American poet Christopher Wallace said the same. He echoed those sentiments.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you want to be in really, really good shape, well, guess what? You're going to have a little bit of discipline. You're going to have to actually, sometimes you're going to be maybe a little bit hungry. Maybe you're going to have to push through. Maybe you have to push the weights hard when you don't feel like it. So there's going to be both sides, the good and the bad. But if you can really feel that goal, that outcome you want, and you feel it internally, you're building that internal reality. And now, you talked about, well, you have to take action. Yeah. Well, now you just want to take action.
Yeah,
it becomes automatic. You
start programming your brain. So to your point, the reason I was distracted, but like I did something similar. So this is years ago. Like you can put this on my on the screen. So oh shit, I thought I fucking take it off. Hold on for a second, man. Hold on, let me see. I want to show it wasn't showing what I wanted. Hold on, where is it? Okay, my fault. I'm fucking this up, man. You're making me nervous. Fuck, man. Hold up. Man, I had some. This was gonna be good. Fucking.
This guy said, "It's Brandon Carter. I blocked my brother's girlfriend in his phone, and now he's having a peaceful week. I can't have him being drained by a mental terrorist, big homie."
So I had one of my video guys, Johnny Ty, make this photo of me. Right. I think you can show it now. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I blocked out some of the stuff because some of the shit hasn't been accomplished yet. Right. But it was me holding this plaque.
Was that do a podcast with Kinobody?
Yeah, that was on there, right? It's like, yeah, I got to cross it off my list.
Yeah.
No, but it was I wanted this fucking plaque, and I wanted the YouTube subscriber thing, and I got both those shits.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I would look at that shit. I printed it out and put it on my fucking office. You know, there's something about programming your brain. It's kind of like well, I talk about it on podcasts a lot. It's like you gotta program part of your brain called the reticular activation system.
RAS.
Yeah, RAS, right? It's like when you get when someone gets a new car, they can see.
And that's like this guy here, right? He's got a brother who's getting completely stressed out by his girlfriend, and obviously, if that relationship is holding you down, it's causing all this stress, and then maybe you guys aren't even together, but you're still letting her message you. You're getting sucked up into the drama. Most men are getting sucked up into all this drama, whether it's watching the news, whether it's just scrolling through TikTok, getting into some drama with their friends, talking about some other friend and what's going on. Like, this is not productive.
When you talk about how bad shit is, you're going to see more of that. Kind of like if one of your friends gets a new car, you see that car everywhere, right? After you didn't attract it, it's just now you see it. It was there the whole time. So if you and your homies are starting talking about some fucking bad shit, or you got some fucking chick talking about some fucking complaining all the time or stressing you out, you're going to see more things to be stressed out about. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason when you came in the crib, you saw like all the money rugs and shit. Right? That's me trying to program my RAS system. Like,
interesting.
It's like, it's I think it's kind of like what you're talking about. Like, I'm trying to program my brain all the time with my goals. The way it kind of sounds like that's what you did on the beach in Mexico.
On the beach, you know what? I'm a very curious person, and I met quite a few successful people, and it's just like there's this common denominator that you just can't not see. You can't unsee it.
What is that?
Well, most times people that are very, very successful, they actually simply believe they can achieve whatever goal they have. It's like, it's just deep. If they have a goal, they deep down, they can achieve it. Even if it's unlikely. Like, if you look at it as a scientist, like, okay, achieving this goal is a very, very small probability. People that are successful, they have this sort of strong confidence. It's not like a crazy delusional confidence, but they have this strong confidence in themselves that they can realize this goal. If you don't have that, why are you going to work hard? Why are you going to push for it?
If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to even try.
You're
not going to try. You're not going to put in the effort that's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because even though, like, you almost make it sound like what you did was easy. But I think that discredits the amount of work you did put in, because I've seen a lot of it from the back. But it may not have felt like work to you. It may not feel like hard work to you. But I saw a lot of it. Like, I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was boys, especially on like the real come up. And I saw the work. You're like, so it almost, I feel like when you say that, and it's true for you, right? So it's true. But I don't know. I feel like it doesn't even give you as much credit as you deserve for what you put, for the work you put in.
Yeah, I think what
you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think what I'm really saying is, like, I've been good at taking my business and crafting it in a way that fulfills me to the highest level. So if I'm not feeling totally fulfilled, I'm like, okay, I need to change how I operate in this business, what I'm doing, different content. I need to delegate these certain tasks that aren't fulfilling me. And there's something very powerful that happens when you really pinpoint. It's very rare you're going to be extremely good at 10 things, unless you're Brandon Carter, who does the music here. It's very rare you're going to be insane at 10 things. If you're really, really good at one thing, that's great. If you're really good at 2 or 3 things, that's awesome. You want to figure out, what are you better than anyone else at? Like, what is your superpower?
Can you make yourself good at it? Right? I wasn't good at anything naturally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
or what do you have that, like,
something,
at least have that, like, that it's a good sign when you're doing a lot of work and it doesn't feel like work. That's a great sign. You know?
I think, and I feel like that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, you programmed it in your head, you believed it, so you wanted to go after it, so it didn't feel like it was as hard work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel the same way. Like, I really enjoy my work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I legitimately enjoy it. But some people see, man, you got to enjoy life. You got to, they don't understand I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am enjoying life. This is my version of it, though. Like, you might enjoy doing other shit, cocaine or whatever these OnlyFans or whatever these motherfuckers are into, right? They might enjoy that shit, right? But I enjoy, I don't know. I go on vacation sometimes, but I'm just as happy at my desk working on something. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Yeah. No,
but that's me.
That's you.
Yeah,
I understand that, and I've when you really feel inspired and you're doing what you love, and maybe that's not the right term for you, but you see. I mean, there's a quote by Eckhart Tolle from A New Earth that I find is that book has so many gems about success, about life, about relationships, about pretty much everything. And so one of the quotes is, the most powerful state to attract success is enthusiasm, which translates from Latin to in God. Enthusiasm is a strong, powerful vision that you have, that you're looking to realize, a powerful vision that you have, combined with a deep joy for the present moment, a deep joy for the process to get there. So when you really, like, let's say you want to become an amazing martial artist, and you have this vision of you at the highest level, maybe in the UFC, X, Y, and Z, and you have this deep joy waking up, doing the training, doing jujitsu, doing boxing and kickboxing and MMA, and just you love every single moment of it, or even loving every single moment of it doesn't just mean you love the good. You love the challenge. You love the hard days. You love pushing through when you don't feel like going.
Seeing what you're made of.
Yeah. So
that's what I be talking about. I talk about that all the time, bro. Yeah. Because you watch the podcast every week, like everyone else, right? But it's like I talk about that all the time. It's like if you can,
I do the 2x though. I do 2x.
Yeah. If you can find a way to enjoy, the work, it's like a cheat code, right? If you can like take your mind, but.
This is a really important reframe that a lot of men these days have become completely and absolutely soft. And they think that something is wrong when it's hard. They think something is wrong when they don't feel like doing the work. But I don't feel like staying, because if you work a full-time job trying to build a business, I don't feel like doing all this extra work after work. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. And like as a man, like you're supposed to have challenges. It's not supposed to feel easy. In fact, the benefit of it being hard is that kind of weeds out 95% of other men.
That's your moat.
That's the moat.
That's the moat around your success.
And then it's the craziest thing. And this is why Brandon loves working hard, is that everything is momentum, right? So it's not like, oh, I got to push through this, me not want to do it every day for the next 10 years. No, you have to push through for like a month while you're kind of a bitch. And then after you do that hard for a month, you become hardened. And now it's not nearly as easy. It's same thing. If someone tells me
it's not as difficult, you mean?
It's not as,
because you're stronger.
Sorry. Yes. It's not as difficult as what I meant, but it's same thing. If someone comes to me and they're 20% body fat and like, how long does it take me to get to 8%, get chiseled? It's the craziest thing is like, once you just crush the first month, it's like automatic. It's momentum. So it's the hardest thing is getting momentum. Once you have momentum, it's easy. It's easy to wake up and to work hard. It's easy to get your steps in and hit your nutrition plan and your training. It's the hard thing is getting momentum, but it only takes about 3-4 weeks to get momentum.
That's a fact.
Right.
And the problem is people keep starting and stopping. But it's like a rocket ship when it goes into outer space. It needs all that fuel to get out of Earth's atmosphere. Then it drops the extra tanks, and then it can coast a little bit. But it took a lot of fucking momentum to get out the atmosphere. Then it can go off momentum.
1,000%.
But these motherfuckers keep giving up and keep starting over. So they keep doing the hardest part over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And maybe like Monday, they're like, oh, work time, whatever. Tuesday. And then Wednesday, they start getting kind of in a good flow. Thursday. And then Friday rolls around. They go out drinking. They get drunk. They're hungover Saturday. They go out again. Sunday. Then it's like you want to just get that momentum. I believe in kind of, and in order to do this, right? In order to do this, you have to have the ability to not burn out, right?
Yeah.
So if you go too hard and you don't have ways to manage your stress and be able to, because I think you still have to be able to turn it off. Yeah. So for me, at least, so you don't burn out.
Yeah. And that's going to look different for everyone, right? Yeah. So for me, I know I got to meditate twice a day. I know I got to get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. At least that's like the bare minimum. More is better for me. But if I get 7, I know I'm good. And I quantified this by tracking it and shit, right? And I got to make sure my diet is on point, because these things make life stressful, right? If you don't have ways to decompress, because
Right.
burnout
And
doesn't
does your girl help you decompress too?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes she's, it's a mix, man. She's, she's Latina, so, mi gente mucho peligroso. Muy peligroso.
What's peligroso?
Ay, cabrón. Dios míos. You know what I'm saying? Peligroso means dangerous. I don't know how to say volatile in Spanish. Volatino. But that's close enough, right? But no, it's I got this thing where I don't think that burnout comes from activity. I think it comes from stress, right? Because I see little kids, they'll play all day. My son will play all day, all night. He'll be active as fuck all day, but he's not stressed out. He ain't got bills. He don't even really understand currency. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't worried about nothing.
Yeah,
he knows everything's taken care of.
You don't burn out playing Call of Duty 9 hours a day.
Yeah, I'll play Call of Duty mobile.
The only the only time you burn out is if you're sucking balls for too long.
Yeah.
Like if you're just getting
stress.
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to manage stress, and then that's what I found is I can work super hard if I manage the stress, because burnout comes from stress, not activity, right? Because you can do fun shit all day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You can play Call of Duty, have sex with a bunch of fucking women and do a bunch of crazy shit. If it's fun, you won't get burnt out from it, right?
Yeah,
it's stress that causes burnout, not activity.
Yeah,
I found ways to manage stress. It sounds like you found ways to manage stress as well.
Yeah, and even like, I do find one of the other things that can cause burnout is if you're just working so hard at the same thing over and over and over again for weeks and months, and you're not seeing any progress.
Yeah.
So if you're not seeing any results, and this is also, I'm very methodical. Some mistakes some people make, and it's almost like an arrogance, is they set some goal and they haven't done anything. And this goal is just insane. And they come to me and, Greg, I want to build a $2 million a year profit business. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck you, man. You haven't done anything yet.
There's no reason for you to.
And they're looking for me to give them like a pat on the back. I'm like, bro, it's not going to happen. I actually will tell them straight up, man, this is the wrong attitude. Okay. And like, it's not going to, like, if that's the goal, the timeline to achieve that goal, they're never going to feel that pat on the back, and they're going to be like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, because they won't see the progress. It would be like, when you plant a seed, just, the roots may be growing, but it won't. It's going to be wild for it sprouts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
exactly. You have to have some sort of positive dopamine hit within the first couple months.
Bro, that's a fact. My clients who I teach the online training business, I say, listen, I don't give a fuck what you have to do. You gotta get them some results fast, some tangible results fast. I mean, even if you gotta fucking like take them off carbs for like a week, the first week or something,
tweak their scales.
No, just because if you take them off carbs, they'll lose a lot of water weight, and then they'll get a dopamine rush, right? Even if they haven't lost a lot of fat, it's just you got to do that because you got to keep them motivated some kind of way, Yeah, what you're saying is 100% true.
Yeah, you got to have some really like something to keep you going. I love those short term little boom. We got this little like dopamine hit. We got now we're going for this thing. Like even what I'll do with some clients is I'll tell them like, look, okay, maybe they're 197 pounds and they're trying to be like, oh, I want to get to 170. I'm like, let's just hit 190. Yeah. Like get them excited about that first little step. They get that, they feel good. And then the next thing, and I just find it, even if some people are trying to lose the same, like they're trying to cut 20 pounds, just embrace and revel in those small wins and then move forward and then move forward. And it actually trains and strengthens your relationship with dopamine. It makes you just like, think about a video game, right? Video games are very, very interesting because they're hardwired to make you addicted where you want to play them, right? Yeah. So you have to treat your own goals as a video game. If you were to play a video game and you're starting from the very beginning with a weak character with a little sword and you're fighting the major boss, you're going to make this game sucks. Yeah, you're not
going to be able to win. Yeah, so make any progress.
Yeah, have the big vision. That's fine. But you want to focus on like that first goal, like a video game. Like what's enough to challenge you, just enough where it's not easy, but like absolutely without a shred of doubt, I can hit it. And then you set the goal higher. Then you set the goal higher. Even myself, when I started Kinobody, my only goal, I never even thought about $1 million or making millions of dollars. It wasn't even a thing. My only goal was I want to make, 6 figures plus. And again, 6 figures plus back in 2011.
That was a lot of money.
Like, you know,
especially as young as you were.
Yeah, if you're
right?
doing if you were doing 20K a month profit in 2011, it's like 40, 50, right?
I mean, this is a lot of people who would fucking do a lot of things for that now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that was my goal. I was like, you know what? I'm 19 by the time my friends graduate and they're looking for jobs. I'm going to be making, you know, 6 figures a year online. I don't have a boss. I can work wherever I want. If I want to come to Florida and run my business from Florida, I can do that. If I want to go to Mexico, I wanted to have some freedom.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. And I just started to fall in love with the process. I loved what I was doing. I was making an impact, getting amazing results. And I just kind of entered that flow state. And then when I hit, you know, 100K or 200K a year, then I was like, great. Now let's set that next goal. But if I started off with like, hey, I want to, you know, make millions of dollars a year, then I wouldn't have been able to love the process
because the goal was so far away.
Too far away.
Yeah, the reward was so far away.
Yeah,
I totally get that, man. You know, I break it down even. I love what you're saying because I it's similar to the way I think. I think about, especially like if I'm training somebody, right, and I see their macros for the day or the workout, and I'm like, I hit them up that morning. Hey, yo, great job, man. Like I reward them immediately. You know what I'm saying? So like, we're not waiting till you lose 50 pounds before I reward you. I'm going to make a big deal about you hitting your macros today. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And then that positive reinforcement, they get happy about that, right? You know, get, you know, people will do a lot for positive reinforcement, you know,
and you have to, you know, just like what Brandon's doing for his client, you have to, if you're listening, you have to do that with yourself because some people just beat themselves up, and we have so much influence on our mindset, even on our neurochemistry, right? So if you're giving yourself negative thoughts and, oh, I have so much longer to go.
Yeah, I got worse. That'll kill you.
But this is actually gonna mess up your ability to be motivated. Yeah. This is gonna downplay your dopamine signaling. You're basically turning yourself into someone that's gonna have a hard time being successful.
Yeah, because because every subject is 2 subjects, right? It's like what you want, but then it's like the lack of it. Right. So if you're somebody if somebody wants to make 6 figures a year, right? But they look at them now, they make fucking $2,000 a month or some fucking poverty shit. They could look at it like, man, I really want to get that goal. Or they can look at it like, man, I'm so far away from that goal. And one is going to be so negative that they're eventually going to quit if they don't see progress.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You have to frame it like that. You have to frame everything in like a empowering way.
Yeah.
Any thoughts you have that are like that depower you need to cut them and change it into an empowering.
You know what helps with that? So here's something I'll do. If you want to see some psycho shit,
let's do it.
Hold on, let me make sure this is the right one, Nima. I gotta make sure it's the one without my income on it because my baby mama and the IRS need to see everything. All right, cool. So I'm a psycho. You can put this one up. So this is like I just think, I think, okay, what do I need to do every day to win, to hit my long-term goals?
Yeah.
So I keep track of those things. Again, like sleep, wake up before 5, workout. And I just try to make one day a victory. I just think about winning today. And I don't even think about the long-term goals. I just think about the things I need to do to get me there. And this way, it's like, I can get excited about hitting the goal just today. And, you know what I'm saying?
1,000%. I was having a call about that. If it's very powerful, even if you're so far from your goal, you want to actually at the end of the day be able to put a check mark to today. Yeah. Today we got a little bit closer to my goal of being lean and strong.
Exactly.
Yeah, just a check mark. And then you don't want to have a list of 30 things you have to do.
Yeah. Okay. I have that.
You
don't want that. But I've been doing this shit for a long time. So like my shit is like, show them real quick. It's like mad shit, right? So I got my, when I went to sleep, did I do my AM and PM meditation, track my macros, how much protein I got?
15-minute meditation or 20-minute?
220-minute sessions.
That's intense.
Yeah, no, it's intense.
It's crazy how many billionaires are doing that.
Come on, it's success leaves clues, right? You know and then it's like how many calories I burn. I got this, and I got a formula like how many calories I consume, how many I burn.
I don't see tequila on here.
Yeah, I don't drink. We'll talk about that. How much water I drink, then a bunch of other shit. But it's like I know if I do these things every day in sufficient quantities, I'll win, right? So I just focus on making today a victory.
What's the one thing that's not like super known on that list that you think is valuable? Besides
super known,
that's not well known, like besides good sleep, right? Yeah, meditation. What's the most helpful thing you find?
It's not well known. For me, I track every dollar that's spent and every dollar that comes in
daily,
and then I categorize it so I can see where it's being spent. And then I used to use this app called mint.com. Now we're using Monarch because mint.com shut down. But I don't think people do that. Like most people don't have a really good sense of their own personal.
I spend a lot of money, but even just on like stupid things, just on.
No, I spend a ton of money, but it's like I'm aware of it. So like now I can, just awareness. Yeah. And anything you track, you'll improve. Right. Anything you track, you will improve. And just by being aware of it, you'll consciously start making better decisions. You know what I'm saying?
1000%.
Yes. I think that's maybe one thing that people don't know, or maybe it's the meditation twice a day. Like not everybody does that. That's kind of odd. that's kind of unusual. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you that way. But the point is, like to your point, even if it started off with just 5 things, because I read an article about this. Man, just pick 5 things you got to do each day, and just make sure you do those things. And that was from
I like the smaller list for me.
Yeah,
I like the 5. I think is perfect for me.
I think Andy Frisella has it like 3 or something like that. But I got it at 5 from the 90s. I read an article by Bill Phillips. He started this supplement company that was super successful in the 90s called EAS. I think they were the first ones to bring creatine to market. And he later sold that shit for like $100 billion to Abbott Laboratories. Anyway, he's a boss, right? He's a G. And I just read the article. He says, man, just pick 5 things every day and just make sure you do those 5 things. And I think it just grew over the fucking last 25 years into 50 things or whatever it is.
and you know, it's amazing. Like, you know, we're talking about sleep, meditation, nutrition, training, and like a huge aspect of becoming successful is getting your body, your health, your mind, your energy right. You can't become successful if your energy is down. That's a fact. If you have, it's so much harder if you have low T, if you don't feel good. It's like even the ability to work hard, even the ability to, you know, be on camera for 2 hours.
It's physical.
It is physical. And most people are breaking down their ability to produce testosterone. They're breaking down their ability to have high energy. They're breaking down their ability to be motivated, and they don't have the machinery to work hard and realize a goal.
Well, you know, let's talk about that, man. You know, I know you do a lot of, you have a lot of content online about, you know, improving testosterone levels. Yeah. Right. I'm on testosterone replacement therapy, so I just inject mine. But what would you say to like these younger guys? I'm 41.
Right.
Father Time is undefeated. Maybe if I knew some of these tips, I could have mitigated that some. But I think I was living pretty well, man. I think it's just there's a reason athletes retire at my age. It don't matter what you do. Right. Some people say it's from keto, but I've seen studies where keto raise people's testosterone. You know, and not everybody on testosterone. Most of the people on testosterone replacement therapy eat carbs, right? So I don't think carbs is the culprit. And I tried carbs and that wasn't helping either. So what you seem like you've cracked some of these codes on this, man. So what would you say are some of the things? So
the main thing to understand is that this wasn't an issue 40 years ago. The average man 40 years ago had healthy levels of testosterone, total 600, 700 nanograms per deciliter. It's dropped 40% since the 80s. So that's a big drop.
That's a big drop.
And 40 years is nothing. Like 40 years is just literally nothing.
It's nothing as far as human history is concerned.
Exactly. And so something's going on, and there's all these certain reasons why T levels are falling dramatically. Yes, you know, if you have excess body fat, if you're not active, if you're having poor nutritional diet, that's going to work against you. But it's even beyond that. There's all
body fat is, in my mind, I think body fat's the biggest culprit because people are fatter.
Yeah,
right. That's probably going to be a huge culprit.
That's the number one. But even if you control for body fat levels, there's still a big drop in testosterone. Even if you
control for body fat levels.
For that.
Okay, that's interesting.
So your waistline is inversely correlated with testosterone. So the 100%. More excess fat you have, the lower your T is, the higher your levels of estrogen are. But there's
cortisol levels high especially when you go over like 15% body fat. That's when things really start to go haywire for men.
Yeah, 100%. And there's all these endocrine disruptors in the environment, in food and water, phthalates, people that are wearing high amounts of fragrance, perfumes, colognes, body washes, scents, disrupt your body's ability to produce testosterone. There's even a lot of young teenagers will suck on the vape a lot, which has lots of endocrine disrupting chemicals. SSRIs can downplay, T levels. Someone was messaging me about their T today, and their levels were low. They've been doing all these right steps, and they've improved it a lot, but it's still not that high. And then
how old is this person?
Like 20.
Oh man, you shouldn't be happening that.
No, man. It's sad. It's sad. So there's a lot of things in the environment working against you. And it can be fixed. It can be solved. If you had some, there are some cases where people can't return their levels normally. Like really? But most of those times, those people, they never even got lean. They just were 30, 40 pounds overweight.
Oh, if you're overweight, it's just going to be it's an uphill battle. So what are some things people can do? It sounds like the first thing is to get your body fat in order. Like I would say under 15% body fat. But what would you say? That's
correct. Yeah. You don't want to get too lean. Like if you're trying to get the 5% body fat.
Yeah. I think that hurt me.
Yeah.
Because I spent like decades at super low body fat. And I think that played a role. You know what I'm saying? I think that played a role, like dieting for so long, it might have played a role.
Yeah.
I'm just old, right? I'm 42. Right.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot for sure. So 10, 12% body fat's great. Anything over 15% is going to drop your T levels quite a bit.
Yeah, and every percentage it drops more.
Yes, and like where things get really bad is take your height, right? Let's say someone is 6 feet tall, which is 72 inches. If your waist is over half of your height, so 36 inches. Ooh. And I'm not talking about wearing 36-inch pants. I mean, take a tape measure, put it around your belly button. Yeah. If it's over half your height, then you're really cramping down your T production.
That's a fact.
For sure. So
especially with men, because we hold more body fat in our stomach areas. That's why like some guys have beer guts and shit, where women hold it and they have more fat cells in their thighs and titties.
100%. You can do DEXA scans and see where you store most fat, but that's the first thing. You must get lean. You also must get strong. When you train and you lift weights, you actually, yes, you're building muscle and you're triggering an increase in muscle, but you're also triggering your body to release testosterone.
Yeah.
Like I believe you need something. If all you're doing is going to your job, going in, going in public transport, driving to work, if all you're doing is sedentary, your body doesn't have that stimulus.
You got to give your body a reason to produce more testosterone, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, give it a reason to.
Give it a reason to, like, lift some heavy weight and push yourself. Now, of course, number 3 is you need amazing sleep. It makes a massive difference if you're getting suboptimal sleep. And even look, you can be in bed for 8 hours, but if you have electronics on, lights on in your room, if like maybe you have street lights and you don't have any good blinds, all that light's going to disrupt your sleep. If you're smoking, a lot of people will do edibles or smoke weed at night to fall asleep. And that like pretty much it inhibits your quality of sleep massively.
People don't want to hear that, man. When listen, pieheads, I thought they were going to be super relaxed, man, but they get mad if you say anything bad about it. But like the studies showed it fucks with your REM sleep.
Yeah, you know what? It absolutely messes with your REM sleep, and as well, it actually it blunts your dopamine system. So that the very powerhouse that makes you want to work hard, that gets you hungry to work towards that goal, that gets you motivated and energetic, gets broken down when you're smoking weed. And everyone knows this.
Yeah,
we all even if
just because you don't like it, doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah,
man.
we all know this. Even my uncle was telling me, my father, and he became extraordinarily successful. My uncle was over at the house, and my father saw him smoking weed, and he's like, "Bro, that shit makes you dumb."
I mean, listen, people know that it's like just because you don't like it, don't make it less true.
I'm speaking from experience. I pushed marijuana to the limit. I did. You
pushed it to the limit.
I pushed it to the limit. I pushed it to the I'm not saying this like never touching it. I had an edible every single, and this is why we talked about earlier. We talked about how important it is to like find ways to not get burnt out.
Yeah.
And so during Toronto, Canada, when we were locked down, I was working very, very hard, but we were locked down, so it's hard to find ways not to get burnt out. When there's nothing, there's no action, trapped,
no stimulation.
Right? So I did the edible at night, and then I did it again, and then all of a sudden, like I needed to fall asleep, and for months and months straight, I had the edibles, and I still worked hard. I put in the work, and then slowly over several months, I would do videos, and I'm like, I was shit. Why was I so shit on video? I would try and I'd be writing a new program, and it just like when my dopamine's fine, I'm writing a program, I'm having a blast, I'm loving it, I'm writing this program, it's so fun. It'd be like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could feel it.
It's weird, you know, because I've had that experience too, but I've also had the experience where I come up with like some of the greatest ideas, high as shit. But it's like, fuck, I feel like now, I'm relying on this substance for good ideas. So I feel like it's more of a hindrance than a positive, right? Because now it's a crutch to come up with good ideas, or it's a crutch, especially when I did music. It was like, oh man, I get high and fucking make this music, and it became a fucking crutch, right? Like, but then I heard what I see, man. Pharrell from the Neptunes never smoked weed before. He's one of the best producers, songwriters ever.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, oh fuck. I don't need it.
Yeah, I think for anyone listening, just audit what you're doing.
Yeah.
Test it. Take a month, take 2 months, 3 months. Don't touch weed. See the difference. Touch it. But the thing is that sure, maybe you're young, maybe you're 24, maybe you smoke weed every night and you don't see the cost. This is why marijuana is so dangerous. If someone's going off and ripping cocaine every weekend, they're gonna feel the cost. If they're going into very hard drugs, they're gonna feel the cost. They're gonna understand the problem. Marijuana,
alcohol too. The next day, you feel
fucking
wasted.
You feel the cost.
Yeah,
marijuana will sneak up on you, and it will take time, and you won't even know it's the marijuana. Yeah. And it's and it happened to me. It took me. I had to really be like, why am I feeling off? Why is my passion gone? Why am I? And I was looking at all these different things, and then finally, it was the last thing I wanted to turn to was marijuana, because I just love taking it to sleep.
Right? It's amazing.
But I didn't really need the feeling of feeling high. I just like to work really hard, and I don't do this anymore, thank God. But I like to work really hard, take an edible, just turn my mind off, go on YouTube, watch videos. I like that. But now I feel way better without doing it.
I'm just telling you, man. Of course you do, man.
Anything that kind of artificially gives you sort of a dopamine hit, it pulls something from you too. Yeah. Whatever it kind of gives you, it takes. And so maybe I'm having this fun night. I feel great. I'm watching this movie. It's so fun. And then the next day, you're missing that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of things people are doing, right? So like even doing a lot of marijuana can disrupt testosterone.
Probably, most recreational drugs, right?
Yeah,
they kind of rob you of. Do they affect your testosterone, or you think marijuana?
I haven't gone down the rabbit hole, but absolutely.
Marijuana is probably the main culprit because it fucks with your sleep, the quality of your sleep.
Yeah.
Even if you just love weed, forget everything we said bad about weed. It's proven to fuck with your sleep. We're just gonna fuck with your testosterone.
Absolutely. And then alcohol also can impair your sleep, and then especially heavy alcohol consumption will drop testosterone.
Bro, alcohol. So I know. So my whole staff, everyone has a sleep tracker. Yeah. Right. And I keep track of their fucking date on there because I'm a psycho. Especially my sales team. Like I need to see your sleep data, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So they either have the Whoop or they have one of these Oura rings. And if motherfuckers just one drink, their fucking shit is haywire. Like the qualities, they may get the same amount of sleep, but the quality, the REM sleep, the deep sleep is like shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like one drink can affect it. And when people start seeing the data, they start drinking less. Like my girlfriend, she drinks way less now after she got an Oura ring. No one told her to. She just would look at her shit the next day, like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I'll have like maybe 2 drinks twice a week. Yeah. I enjoy tequila.
Like to drink. Yeah. At least that's what I remember. Because I think when we first met, I drank too. Yeah. I think I stopped like soon, like relatively early, but I remember
But you were always very composed.
Yeah.
You're always very, I think in my mid-20s, I didn't really drink or party much when I was 19 to 23. And then my mid-20s, I definitely had some fun.
Greg would go at the bar and drink. He would order Manhattans. Right. That was his drink.
Yeah, that was my drink.
And that's all alcohol.
Pure.
No, it's just all Greg is shooting back Manhattan. Yeah. I mean, he never got like fucking crazy or nothing wild, but I remember this kid could drink, man.
I had a couple probably wild nights in LA. But yeah, those Manhattans and in Canada they make drinks way less strong. So if I had 3-4 Manhattans in Canada, then I have 3-4 Manhattans in America, LA, it's like I feel it.
Yeah, I mean, Manhattan is just strong. It's all alcohol, right? Like there's nothing else in it.
No, it's pure alcohol and more alcohol. And, but yeah, that is. Yeah, I find for me the sweet spot is like if I really want to drink,
have recreation. Just understand what it's doing to your endocrine system.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you can smoke weed if you want, you can drink if you want. Just understand what it's doing. And if you're trying to optimize, then you might have to make some changes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I found a sweet spot. But yeah, for guys that are going out and getting hammered once or twice a week, you're definitely pumping the brakes on yourself.
Yeah. Well, what else? What other things can people do?
Can support?
Yeah, let's talk about what can they do to raise it now. Now we talked about some of the things, unless there's more things that are fucking it up. What else can they do to raise it? You know, we said lift weights.
So heavy lifting, sprinting are the best forms of exercise to increase testosterone. Now it's important to state that overtraining is just as bad for testosterone as not training at all. So if you're overdoing it, even for example, a lot of people, if they're doing cardio, they like to do the biking. I call it beta boy biking.
That's me.
Are you you on the bike?
That's like the only cardio I do.
Okay. People love the bike, but it's been shown to like reduce sperm count and lower testosterone. Because of the way the seat kind of crushes. It's too much pressure. You're not really meant for it.
Wait till you see my seats.
You got a special seat?
My seat is like the seat you're sitting in.
Okay.
On my bike.
Yeah, you know, if you
I have a desk, it's a desk bike or a dike.
If you have the dike.
Yeah, like I ride the dike all the time.
If you have a good seat,
I got two dikes in here.
But like, you know, those biker seats that
that shit'll fuck your balls up.
That's not good. So if you get the good seat, you're fine. But if you're training for a marathon, doing excess amounts of chronic exercise, it actually, you know, can lower your levels. I actually had a friend that was training for, you know, a marathon and triathlete stuff, and their levels went down a lot.
Yeah.
So you want to train heavy and intense, and you want to take rest. Even if you're sedentary, right? So if you're getting less than like 5,000 steps a day, your levels are a lot lower. Hunter-gatherer ancestors walked 16,000 steps a day, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
But I recommend like get 10,000.
Yeah, at least.
You know, I'll do 14,000 when I'm really getting chiseled.
When I'm trying to get ripped, I go for 20. I do about 20 a day.
20. Yeah. Great. So you want to optimize your sleep. You also want to get vitamin D status.
Vitamin D, yeah.
So the thing about vitamin D, though, is that if you're getting it from the sunlight, it depends on the angle of the sun. So the sun angle is too low, you'll get UV. You can actually burn without getting any vitamin D. So I actually use an app called D-Minder, and it fluctuates. And like there's peak times where you can get vitamin D.
What are the peak times?
I mean, right now, you know, around like 12:30 to 2. That's
really?
like, yeah.
Because Gary told me that it may not have been for this reason. Gary from 10X, because he was my neighbor from that long. Like he lives in the building next to me where fucking David Beckham. They was my neighbors. Anyway, and and he said first thing in the morning for the red light, but
the red light,
maybe it's not for the vitamin
that's
D.
for the red light, which is like has a, you know, sort of anti-inflammatory benefit.
Okay, but it's not for the vitamin D.
But you're not getting any vitamin D in the morning because you know how the angle of the sun starts low and it rises.
Yeah,
for the vitamin D only comes at a certain angle. So some MIT scientists create a sort of app based on where you are, time of the year, location, to kind of find out when. And it's interesting because sometimes you think, oh, I'm getting vitamin D, but no, the angle's
you're
too
just
low.
getting UV. And what about supplementation? Vitamin D.
Yeah. So essentially there's a handful of supplements that support T production, and there's a bunch that don't work. So a lot of like the horny goat weed and maca root and tribulus and stuff like that don't actually.
Tribulus was the big one in the 90s when I was a kid, I remember.
Yeah, it doesn't actually it can improve sex drive and it can have some tangible benefit, but it's not increasing testosterone.
Yeah.
Even fenugreek, people talk about fenugreek because it can raise testosterone, but it does so by lowering DHT. And DHT is actually more powerful, more androgenic than testosterone. So it's kind of like you're kind of getting more T, but you're losing out on something a bit more powerful.
Vitamin D, no, it doesn't like supplement it?
Vitamin D. You can supplement it for sure. That's good. Vitamin.
I think it's real important for. I just want to say this for like people of color to supplement with vitamin D, right? Because our skin was made to be outside all day next to the equator and shit, right? And most of us aren't living like that, especially if you live in Chicago or New York or something. You're not getting any sun exposure, right? And the little exposure you're getting, the melanin is blocking it, right? So it's super important. This is why, like during C19, there was such high rates in the Latino and Black community, because vitamin D has been shown 2,000 IUs of vitamin D supplement a day has been shown to be just as effective as a flu shot.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
you know
absolutely.
so especially if it's super important if you're like Black, Latino,
it's insane. It's
Asian, Middle Eastern, like my man Nima.
Yeah, there's so many chronic illnesses that are linked to low vitamin D status. Even in Canada, we have a higher rate of multiple sclerosis,
vitamin D deficiency.
and it's it's the simplest thing. Like there's a lot of people doing these different health hacks, spending loads of money going and doing NMNs and NAD IVs, and it's like the simplest thing you can do is just get in more vitamin D. Now the other sort of minerals, right, that are really helpful in testosterone production is one, if your zinc levels are low. If your zinc levels are low, your T production and your immune function are going to be lower.
I take zinc every day.
Zinc is really, really great. And you have to be careful. Like if you take too much zinc, it can lead to a copper deficiency, but like 15, 25 milligrams a day usually is totally safe. And
you can take too much vitamin D.
Yeah.
So if you're taking super high doses, you got to add vitamin K because some bad happens that I forget about.
Well, yeah. So correct. And like vitamin K helps sort of move calcium into your bones and teeth. Vitamin K2. So K2 is really, really good. And it's also great for, dental health. Now next is magnesium. So magnesium, actually it's a very common deficiency. It's hard to get high amounts of magnesium these days. And the micronutrients in foods and soils have gone down. So you're not getting as much. And so magnesium is also great. And again, anytime you're dealing with something, right? Some people have anxiety, poor sleep, depression, and they want to immediately, let me take an anxiety drug. Let me take a sleep drug. It's like magnesium can solve a lot. It's amazing for mood. It's amazing for sleep. It can support, anxiety. And so magnesium has also been shown to increase total testosterone production.
Really?
In athletes and sedentary people. So magnesium is actually really, really powerful. Zinc, magnesium, and then third is boron.
I take ZMA every night.
Yeah.
But I've been doing that for years.
Good. Oh, it's good. It's good. The other mineral it's interesting because taking more than you require has been shown to increase T production, free testosterone. And it's sort of anti-estrogenic is boron.
Boron.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
It's a mineral that helps increase free testosterone. And it's you can take 6 milligrams, and then there's all kinds of herbs, right? So you got ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is sort of an adaptogen, helps your body regulate stress.
Yeah, I take that at night.
Yeah. The only thing, right? Because I don't use ashwagandha. The only reason why is that it is linked. Some people don't notice this. A lot of people do if you Google ashwagandha side effects, but it's sort of linked to sort of a reduced ability to experience pleasure.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of makes you a bit more like cut off and numb. So some people take it when they're going through something really stressful.
Yeah.
Or they take it once in a while.
Because it blunts the feelings.
It blunts your feelings, which I personally, and I've had some people that have, taken in like, I don't like it. So I think it's ashwagandha. You can use it short term. I don't like to use it, every day. Because I find I like that je ne sais quoi. I like to
I never heard that. I'm gonna come off it for a while.
Yeah, come off it, see if you feel a difference.
Yeah.
And then, there's also, Fadoja, which, Huberman's talked about, which can help increase T production and it's supposed to be pretty powerful, but it's sort of a little too early to take it. It's still linked to like toxicity in the testes. So it's one of those ones where, again, we're like, if you're going to take it, you gotta be really careful and you want to cycle that off for sure.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Tongat Ali, I think is probably the most powerful.
What?
Tongat Ali.
What's that?
It's like it's a herb from Southeast Asia. And it's been used for centuries, and it's been shown to support T production and sort of athletic performance, body composition. Tongat Ali is really powerful. And then the last one is Forskolai, which comes from the mint family, which interestingly enough, mint tea, right? Yeah. If you were to drink mint tea, it actually lowers testosterone.
Really?
Yeah, mint lowers testosterone. There's a lot of things I can talk to you about that lower testosterone, but the actual Forskolai is from the mint family, but it actually increases free testosterone. It's anti-estrogenic, and it also can support. It's been shown to help support fat loss too. So those are like the two herbs: Tongat Ali, Forskolai, zinc, magnesium, boron that I really like. And then, there's some other stuff that is sort of more preliminary that people are looking into. But honestly, those are kind of
the main ones.
Those are the main ones.
But all this is a moot point if you're too fat, right? Like it's not really going to help that much.
Yeah. You know what though? I do notice this link where when someone is, let's say someone is overweight, right? And then they start taking these things, it can be a little kickstart that makes them want to, sure, if you just stay 40 pounds overweight and you do this, you're really scratching the surface. But a lot of times when you add these things in, whether it's physiological or psychological, maybe you do get that little boost. And now you want, because here's the thing, right? You probably enjoy lifting heavy weights.
Yeah.
Right? Like it probably feels good to you.
Yeah.
Some days
I used to hate it. I mean, I don't love working out, but if I hit like a PR or do something, I do feel good about it.
But do you ever have those days where you're genuinely like, I fucking want to work out right now? Do you ever get that?
I'm sure it's happened before, but yeah, I really don't like it that much.
I think you're so focused on your business goals that like the workout's kind of like
it's a means to an end. Like it's not something I really
interesting.
It's not something I really enjoy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I don't.
Don't you feel like there's some drive to do something physical though?
Listen, maybe I understand I'm a weirdo because people look at me crazy when I say, especially people in the fitness industry. But it's like, I'm just not a big fan of working out, man. I wish I didn't have to do it, but
you also work out like you kind of hit the gym like 20 minutes twice a day.
20 minutes 2 or 3 times a day, but that's because I don't like it.
Right.
Because most people you go for an hour and it's like, I don't know, man.
If I ever take maybe 3-4 days off training, I can't wait to go into the gym.
Okay, that's the only time I'm like, all right. I might feel something close to what you're describing.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's kind of like if you eat cheeseburger 3 times a day, you're like, I don't want. I'm not craving a cheeseburger, but you haven't had a cheeseburger in a month. Like, I fucking want that cheeseburger.
Yeah. Well, people, it's like anything. If overexposure to any stimuli makes you enjoy it less.
Yeah. But so one thing that can happen is if a man, they do some natural steps to get their T up, then all of a sudden they never really cared to go and hit the gym and work hard. Now they have this motivation. I have someone very close to me, a loved one very close to me, and he just didn't really have that much motivation. All of a sudden he started doing some of these steps I'm talking about, started taking the concoction, the Mojo concoction, and then all of a sudden started changing his diet around, started hitting the gym, started like now he's going on some dates and he's putting himself out there. It was like a kickstart where it's like, because testosterone, right? It does a few powerful things, but one, it helps you handle risk better, right? So if you want to go and put yourself out there and maybe you want to start a business, maybe you see a beautiful girl and you want to approach her, it's easier when your T levels aren't low.
Oh yeah, when your T levels are low,
it's like,
bro, I remember when my shit was low and it got low, like super low during the pandemic, and that's when I really noticed it. I didn't. It was hard for me to do anything, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard for me to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what you're saying is fact, man, and it's dope that you're putting this information out there for these younger guys.
Yeah, and I also recommend like pretty much any man, especially if you're 25 to 35, at least go to the doctor and get your first blood test.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see a baseline. See where you're at. Because again, it's also somewhat individual. You could have some guy that's at 500 that feels great. You could have another man that's at 500 that feels like shit.
Yeah.
There is an individual thing. Now, the difference is if someone's normally at 700 and they go down to 500 because of stress, they're going to feel bad.
Yeah.
Right. And if someone's kind of level is 500. And again, testosterone within the natural range isn't everything for packing on muscle. If you're already at 600 and you get your T levels up to 800, is that going to help you gain muscle way faster? Probably not. Maybe slightly,
a little bit.
Maybe, but there's what's more powerful for like testosterone isn't the only like important sort of link to muscle growth. There's androgen receptor density. Yeah. That's actually arguably more important, right? For muscle growth than having an extra 20-30% more testosterone. That's why some guys, right? If you look at guys that go on high amounts of gear, have you seen some of these guys that go on high amounts of gear that still look like shit?
Yo, I have seen like my whole career. like, you know, everybody would accuse me of being on gear or whatever. You used to get that too. And it was funny, like some of the people who was like, man, you got to be on something. Some guys would come to me like, and they're like, nah, it's like, I'm on something. I'm like, you on something? Damn, I was like, you taking drugs to look like that?
I was never even suspect you at all. I've seen some people telling me they're on these crazy stacks. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're hurting your health.
My boy Fat, he does training for people in Olympia. Yeah, right. Like he's like real like pro bodybuilder. He does their training, and he was telling me, man, he was like, listen, I've taken guys to get their pro cards naturally. I mean, they weren't successful until they went off gear, but they got their pro card naturally. Once they get in that fucking arena, then it's like, all right, to compete at that level, you got to be on something, right? But he got their pro cards naturally. But then there was guys who was on gear. He said some of them just wouldn't respond. Right. Like no matter how much gear he put them on, they just wouldn't respond.
No, it's a real thing.
It's individual. Some people die. Like everybody's different, man. Some people die if they eat a peanut, you know. Everybody's we're just individual variants.
For sure. So, you know, so like the benefits really of getting your T levels dialed is, yes, if you're really low, 300, you get to 600, you're gonna be able to build and support a much better physique. But if you're already at 600, you get to 700, 800. It's more of a subtle benefit. But I find you get more energy, more confidence. You sleep better. Yeah, the energy,
bro. Like, because when I went on TRT, and this is cool. Like I went, like I'm 41, right? So keep that in mind. I went on TRT when I was like 38, going on like 39 and shit, right? Yeah. It's important for young guys to do it naturally. Like I waited until I feel like there was nothing else I could do, because once you go on, you on forever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like it's so, you know, you're on forever. I'm middle age, right? The average man lives to 75. I'll probably push it past that, but you know, I'm middle age, right? So you start doing it in your 20s. It's the majority of your life you're on this drug, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't want to have to do that if you can mitigate that naturally. It's cheaper, and it's you know, we don't really know what the long-term effects of testosterone replacement.
And you know, you can maintain really solid T levels and a very solid physique in your 20s, obviously your 30s, your 40s. But like there seems to be some of this thing called sort of reverse puberty, where as a man, when you kind of go from late 40s, or you know, when you kind of go from like the late 40s, early 50s onward, it's much harder to have a lot of strength and muscle. Yeah. So if there is a time where someone was like they wanted to optimize themselves, it would be kind of in the you know 50s kind of time.
Or you know, whatever your doctor says, right? You know, but if I was you, I would do what Greg said first when you're young. You know what I'm saying? Like I waited till I felt like it was the last moment for me. You know what I'm saying? I tried the other shit and it wasn't really working. So I was like, all right, man, let me get that. You know
and honestly, the most fun benefit of getting your T levels dialed to me is like you have that like your sex drive, right, is linked to ambition. If you have a bigger libido, a bigger sex drive, that same part of you can channel that into goals, into pursuing your goals. And so when you get your T levels up, and the first thing you'll notice when your T levels drop is oh, my sex drive. Your sex drive's down. Yeah. Right. Like, so I'm pretty lean right now, but when I've gotten super lean, I feel it. I'm like, my sex drive is lower. So you don't want to get too lean. But the point is that when you get your T levels up, you have this amazing sex drive. And it's like, that's like a secret weapon as a man. When you have a very high sex drive, you don't have to go like, don't watch any porn, right? Don't like, some guys will just waste all that energy and they'll be putting into porn and playing video games. I think that like for sure, you know, if you channel that, you can use that to better yourself. You know,
that's a fact. I believe that, man.
So you want to have a high sex drive. Like you want, especially as a 20-something-year-old, you want to wake up. If you wake up and you don't feel like, fuck, I want to tap. Yeah. If you wake up and you're just like, oh, Tuesday, oh, Wednesday. When I wake out of bed, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, you know,
my shit was too high in my 20s, man. I was a menace. Nothing nefarious. Just like it was too much. It was intense. But listen,
you had to have those experiences.
Hey, you got to, man. You got to get in,
man. You had to.
What I want to do is I want to get into some of these super chats. And I
Oh,
think
yeah,
some of
yeah.
the questions are for you, but then I got some other questions I want to ask you about, like getting leaner and
Let's
some
do
of the
it.
stuff you're expert at. If we got some super chats.
Yeah, we got 6 super chats.
Hey, some heroes. Remember, all your super chats go for research and development. The Thot Repellent. This is really coming out in the second quarter of the year, man.
Okay. I'm gonna put this one first. Dylan is saying, what body fat percentage do you recommend for me to start bulking again? Also, the calendar and tracking has been working wonders.
That's what's up. You know, for me, I don't like look at actual percentages, right? Because unless you're getting a DEXA scan or something from like, you know, a professional, it's kind of difficult to assess. You know, you like what you said with your body fat is, it's an estimate, right? You know, you just estimate, but it's like I just look at my abs. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can see my abs, maybe got a vein in the lower abs. I'm like, oh,
that is actually the dopest sign of leanness. Like the one way you know you're very, very lean is if you have some visible veins in your lower abs. Like that's the hard. You can have a 6-pack. Cut 3 more pounds and still not have the you know, I remember when I was even like 184, 185, I'd have abs when I flexed, like I'd have abs, but I didn't get the lower ab veins till I got down to like 172 back in the day.
Yeah. You know, that's when you're really lean.
That's, you know,
I don't like when people bulk. I don't like when people bulk and they got too much body fat, because the way fat cells work, right? Now, fat cells don't go away, they just shrink.
Yeah, especially when you gain body fat when you're above 15%.
Yeah.
If you're like going from, you know, 8% to 12%, it doesn't really matter. But when you're 15% and then you put on fat, correct. Because
the body fat, because the cell at that level, the cells start to divide.
Right.
And now you got more fat cells. Right. And then and when you lose weight, the fat cells you don't actually burn fat. The fat cells just shrink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
you know what's interesting is your ability to gain muscle without fat is highest at like an 8 to 12% body fat range.
Yeah.
When you're at above 15%, certain things happen. Like, okay, estrogen levels go up, your T levels can drop a little bit.
Cortisol rises.
Exactly. And then also you have like lower insulin sensitivity.
Yeah.
So it's harder to actually pull and direct nutrients into muscle tissue.
Yeah. It's if all that aside, right? You make some amazing points, and you know I've said that mad times. I'm glad y'all hear someone else say it. But it's also like it looks more impressive, right? You put if somebody's over 15% body fat and they put on 5 pounds of muscle, they'll look a little better. But if somebody's single digit body fat, and then or like low teens and they put on 5 pounds of muscle, they'll look way better. Way better. So yeah, I think if you don't have a good body weight read, which is obviously hard, you want to get to the point where, you know, your waist is taut. You shouldn't have like a, you know what I'm saying? Like a muffin top.
Your waist should be tight. You should be able to flex and see firm abs.
Yeah, that's what I go by.
That's always very, very good. And if you do have a DEXA scan, then, you know, pretty much anything above 15%, you want to get leaner. And then the best time to start lean bulking would be like 10, 12%.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, and something happens, man. I was talking to the guys from a Mind Pump podcast. Yeah. There's something about when you bulk after a cut. I don't know why. I don't know the science behind that, but anybody who's competed, they know that if they bulk after the competition,
they blow up.
It's like something happens. You know?
So yes, you know what is it? I think what happens is there's this powerful anabolic response when you've been deprived of calories for a long period of time. Yeah. There's even if you look at, for example, Christian Bale. Now, obviously he did a movie called The Machinist. He got down to like 125. The director told him at 135, knock it off. You're gonna kill yourself. Yeah. And he just went full.
This movie's never gonna come out.
Yeah. He went full insane. And so it didn't take him that long to go from 120. Like you think 125, he's emaciated. It's gonna take him years to get back to like 175. He did it fast. In a matter, the first 20 pounds took 2 or 3 weeks.
There's something about it, man.
Yeah, when you deprive yourself and you cut very hard for weeks and months, your body's like a sponge.
Yeah.
So when you feed it, and even if you just worked out a couple times a week, you feed it, you just replenish and you build back. And so
ask anybody who's competed, they will tell you that same shit. You know what I'm saying? There's something about right after the competition when they fucking eat everything and they just like fuck.
Yeah, your anabolic receptors get upregulated when you've been doing a lot of cutting, you've been in a deficit. And then similarly, if you've been relaxed, right, after the holidays, if you actually sharpen up your calories, your body can lean up a little bit faster.
Yeah,
right.
Something about it, man. Like, funny fact, man, I'm never really like maintenance. I'm always bulking. I'm cutting. Like I never maintenance. I never do a refeed or like
alternate. Yeah,
it's either sharp cut or sharp bulk. And I've been doing that for fucking decades.
Yeah,
something I got from Bill Phillips. He had this protocol called anabolic burst cycling. That was basically diet for 2 weeks, bulk for 2 weeks,
right. And then there's a challenge because some guys that, and I get followers and clients that come to me that have never had a six pack in their entire life, right? They never had a six pack. They're 30 pounds overweight. They finally get lean and they're like, amazing. And I'm like, okay, it's time to bulk. They're like, no, I don't. They don't want to do. They're scared. It's like, hey, you know what? You're whatever. You're 175. You're 5'11". We got to get you eating 2,800 calories, and I can't do it. Yeah. And so if you're not willing to embrace the lean bulk, you have this really quick, easy muscle you can gain just simply by giving your body for the first time in many months surplus calories. You get this quick, easy muscle.
That's real shit. And you see the opposite too. Guys will bulk, and then when they cut, they're like, "Oh man, I feel small." And really, they're not small. They're just flat. Right. Maybe their muscles don't have glycogen. Right. Sometimes they're just fat. It's kind of like when, you ever train a girl and she fucking cuts and she's like, I lost my titties or I lost my ass. I'm like, your titties and your ass wasn't as big as you thought. You just had a lot of fat cells on. You had some fat on them titties, baby. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, man. I got to know a doctor, man. He'll keep your tits the same.
Yeah.
No matter what. All right. Let's get into the next super.
Okay. We got Bruce Wayne saying, is sales a good high income skill?
Yes. I have a lot of videos on sales if you want to check them out. You know what I'm saying? But for sure.
He also says, and what mentors would you recommend for sales?
When the victory unit podcast on the victory unit Discord goes over 20,000 members, we're like at 17 some now. I'm gonna come out with a free sales course. However, right now, the only person I would recommend, there's only one person, and that is Jeremy Minor. He was on this podcast before. You can check out the episode. Sick. He's the only person I would recommend.
Okay. Okay. This one. The masculine investor.
Owens house.
People still fucking talk about the boxing match.
They never forget.
We was going to be the first. We was going to do that before.
We would have been the very first.
Yeah. Hey,
the Owens house. Have you hung out with Owen?
I haven't hung out with him in that long. I talked to him every once in a while.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him a few weeks ago in LA. He's a great guy.
Yeah, man, that's my guy.
Yeah, he's wild. He's wild.
And he's got a different way his mind works. I never met anyone like Owen. I don't think I've ever met anyone like Owen. He's super smart. He went to the fucking Harvard of Canada, whatever the best school y'all got there. He went to that school. I don't think he graduated, but he went.
No, yeah, my brother went to that school, Queens. It's like, yeah, it's you can, if you got maybe 90, you can get in there. It is definitely challenging. Depends on the program, right? Yeah. But if you're doing, depends on the Queens business, whatever the program is. But it's not like it's not that hard to get into.
Oh shit! I thought it was like Harvard.
I don't know. It's you have to be smart, but not like it's not like this.
Well, he's obviously a smart guy.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. Like the Queen. You know what? That's a good way to frame it. He framed it at the Harvard of Canada. Yeah. I know a lot of people went to Queens that are not that smart.
Oh shit! Damn. Well,
Sorry, Owen.
Owen's smart. He's one of the smart ones.
Yeah, he's one of the smart ones. He sold the hell out of that Queens thing. He sold the hell out of that. It's a school in Canada. There's not in Canada all the universities. It's not like the US where you have like the Harvard and this. It's kind of they're not. There's not one that's just like insane. Oh my god, you went to Queens.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We got the next one. El Busy is back saying,
"Oh, what up, El Busy?"
I mean, we kind of addresses in the beginning. BBC, I blocked my brother's girlfriend in his phone, and now he's having a peaceful week. I can't have him be drained by a mental terrorist.
Hey man, it's good for him, man. That's a good brother. He's going to look out when he's going to look out for us. That's a good brother right there, man. He'll thank you one day.
We got Nav asking, is a keto diet optimal for building muscle?
It's probably not. I don't know if it's optimal. I've read studies that say basically it's equal, right? You know, most of the studies I've read said it was equal. I can hold on.
Everything's money, bro. I got money.
So, matter of fact, let me just show some because people are just gonna talk crazy unless I show them this. So let me just I keep the studies on deck, man, in case a motherfucker wants to start talking crazy. So yeah, here's one of the studies. It basically said,
is that you can read it from your angle, but not my angle?
Oh, you know what? I have a screen protector on this shit. So
Okay.
like when I'm on flights and shit, motherfuckers can't see.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, how are you reading
Oh
that
yeah,
computer,
it's like
bro?
black.
It's black.
It's like one of these things. Yeah, so
Yeah.
only you can only see it if you're
I
right
need
in
one of those
front of
screen
it.
protectors.
Yeah,
bro.
man. So basically, you can go read the study on your own, but they basically said it's the fucking same. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the fucking same. Both for yeah, it's basically the same. But at the same time, you know, there are advantages. Like insulin is anabolic, right? So if you're on keto, your body won't produce insulin because your pancreas only secretes insulin when your glucose levels go above 110, and it's difficult for you'd have to eat a tremendous amount of protein for that to happen, and it'd probably kick you out of ketosis, right? Because it would happen via gluconeogenesis, and then at that point you probably wouldn't be in keto anymore.
Have you been keto straight for the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No potatoes or.
I mean, it's super rare, like
Yeah.
maybe like less than 5 cheat days a year.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, yeah. Because I just don't enjoy it no more. Like I probably put myself in a disadvantage, right? Because now, like if I eat carbs, I get super tired. Like my body's just not used to that shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
My body's just not used to it. But the advantages have been so good for me, right?
Mhm.
And everyone's different, you know. But you know, my skin is clear. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They say I look younger.
I'm
you know
sure
what
there's
saying?
a focus you get. Like I don't like to eat a lot of food, especially a lot of carbs, until later at night. 'Cause I find it winds me down. If I have a big lunch, especially with carbs,
Yeah.
I'm not that productive.
Yeah, you know, 100%, man. Like me, you know, when intermittent fasting was the gateway drug, right? You know, I noticed that when I was fasting in the fast, I would get so much work done. As soon as I break the fast, it's like I better fucking finish before 3. I better finish all my work before 3 because it's downhill from here. And then it's like, oh, I was pushing the carbs back, and that kind of helped.
Right.
And then when I started keto, it was like, oh, I feel like that all day.
But do you ever miss like fresh fruits?
You know, I still eat berries. I can still
little berries.
and berries I get my fix. You know, like I eat blueberries almost every day.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So blueberries are good, and I miss pancakes. That was like one of my favorite foods, pancakes. And the only time
the keto pancakes don't hit the spot.
Man, listen, that shit is gross. And, like all the fucking keto foods, man, I just eat steak, bro.
Yeah.
And but this is one dessert. We'll go. I have a cheat day, and you should come in. Mastro's
gluten dessert, right?
The regular dessert.
Regular dessert.
Regular dessert.
Yeah,
I'll do a cheat day for this shit.
Yeah.
They have the fucking
they have one
butter cake.
They have it here.
They
Miami?
just opened one, man.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
friends with the manager. He came from New York.
Sick.
And now he's managing this one.
Butter cake.
So like we were boys from New York, because I used to. It was like right. I lived 72nd and Broadway, and it was kind of like right across the park. So I would walk from Central Park and show up there for a fucking lunch, not to get the cake though, but like just for the fucking steak.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to go now.
When I was a kid, I like my favorite thing was chocolate chip cookies. I'd have like my father coming home from work, he'd bring chocolate chip cookies, and then we'd eat chocolate chip cookies. And so right now I've been having some chocolate chip cookies.
My son's thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to call you a child. I'm just saying, like, I was just with him. And that's his fucking thing, man. We go to McDonald's. He wants the fucking Happy Meal, and he wants the cookies. Yeah. The McDonald's cookies, apparently they're really delicious. Or his mom will bake him cookies. And it, like,
dude, oh my God.
He loves that shit.
In Miami, they have these restaurants that have giant chocolate chip cookies for dessert.
Yeah?
You can get one at like, Prime 112. You get a massive cookie, and I've ordered it, bro. It's insane.
Hey, man.
But like, it takes what I'll do sometimes. We'll go out for dinner. Maybe I'm on a date, and like I'll order some dessert. I'll just have like a few bites because it's like the highest level of discipline isn't for me. It's not having it.
Yeah.
It's able to have 2 bites and stop.
You know what? That's something that I'm probably going to do a fucking video on this, but
like getting a blowjob and then stopping.
Yeah. You know, abstinence.
No one can do it.
no one can do it.
That's the highest level. Having like a bite of a dessert and then, oh my God.
That's why guys are so bad at pulling out. Right.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many. No, because abstinence is easier than moderation.
Right.
Because moderation, you're basically teasing yourself.
Yeah.
Right. But if you say, oh, I just don't do this, right? That's why it was easy for me to just stop drinking. Right. It wasn't as opposed to drink less. For me, it was easier because I enjoyed it too. Right. It's like, oh, you know what? It's easy for me to just stop. Because abstinence is way easier than moderation because you tease yourself. Right now, I don't really remember what like a lot of this shit tastes like.
Right. And I actually had a call with some clients about this thing where it's like when a lot of people, they make a decision. Okay, I'm going to start this intermittent fasting plan. I'm going to start this training plan, but they half commit. They half step into it. I'm going to try and do my fasting. I'm going to try and hit my calories. I'm going to try to go to the gym.
Try babies,
and they half step it. And I call it, you got to go like full retard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to just be like, you know, you got to just be like, I'm doing the fast. I'm fasting till 2 p.m. Yeah. No question about it. Because if you half step it, then you'll burn up all this willpower being like, well,
on the bullshit.
Should I, like maybe I'll do the 5 hours, maybe I'll do 4, maybe this, maybe I'll have one, you know, if that maybe you deplete all this willpower. You just have to make a strong decision and stick by it.
100%, man. Yeah. Like you got to go all in. Yeah, and a lot of people say moderation in all things, but you know, in my experience, extremists are the most successful. Or you want to get something done. I'd rather holler at an extremist if I wanted it done.
Yeah,
quick.
Extremists have an advantage, but I find like the fulfillment of life is when you can kind of get the balance.
It depends on what you're getting your joy from.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's just different, right? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like if you can find a way to enjoy the work, enjoy pushing yourself, enjoy seeing what you're made of, then you don't need to escape like everyone. Like regular people, they gotta escape all the time, right? They have to escape because they hate what they do.
Right.
Like civilians, regular motherfuckers doing regular shit. They don't enjoy it, or they haven't found a way to enjoy it. But if you can find a way to enjoy the work, then you don't need the escape, right? So you're right, but it's just I think there's more than one way to come up to acquire that fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
No,
for me, sure. That's why I say I'm just as happy in front of my desk because I enjoy. I found a way. Like sometimes I think I'm a psycho, right? So when people say some shit like, they'll see me have my scale out at dinner, weighing my food, and they'll be like, "Man, I can never do that, man. It takes so much discipline." And I'm thinking, "Fucking right, bitch. There's all types of shit I can do that you can never do, motherfucker. I'm way better than you." I don't say that, but that's what I think, and it makes me happy. But I usually just say something. Oh, you know, it's not fair.
And you know, you've actually like on a separate point of like fulfillment and stuff. You've done a good job at like making your business life fairly social. Yeah, where you networking with a lot of different people. You know everyone, dude.
Yeah, and then my friends. We've been make money together, or I become friends with my employees and shit. You know, like.
But if you were just working in isolation, would you find that hard?
Would be difficult?
Okay.
That I think. I mean, a lot of times there'll be fucking days in a row I don't leave my building, right? And maybe I'm just the only person I see is like the people in my building and my girl. But I'm on Zoom calls and shit, and I'm talking to all my friends. Like most of us, we get money together somehow. That wasn't the plan, but you could plan it like that. Like, for example, you can design your life however you want it. Like if I want, let's say, for example, I wanted to make everything in my kitchen dishwasher proof. I would just act like everything is. And then sooner or later, a lot of shit will either break or get fucked up. And the only thing left would be the shit that was dishwasher proof. Now everything's dishwasher proof. So if I say, so I'm going to make fun, I'm only going to fucking kick with people I make money with. Sooner or later, that's what's going to happen. Right. And, like it's the same kind of thing. You can design your life to however you want it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
What?
All right, we got 2 more.
All right. 2 more. Okay.
Are you just asking? I'm 5'11", 308 pounds, and now on keto. Already lost a bit.
Nice.
I only train 3 times a week for 30 minutes. The house just started now. When should I train more?
You know what, man? Greg probably. You know,
I can take this.
Yeah,
one,
you guys.
you
Greg
don't mind.
Greg got an interesting take on this.
I do have an. So basically, you want to do some strength training, obviously, in those 3 times. That's the highest ROI because you want to support lean body tissue. So as you lose weight, you lose body fat. But the best thing you do is literally walk. Now at 308 pounds, I wouldn't tell you go and do 12,000 steps a day.
100%.
The amount of calories you're gonna burn, like if you have a 150-pound person that walks
Yeah.
10,000 steps, you're burning double as much.
I've helped obese people. I've helped the obese guy lose over 100 pounds just walking. I didn't have him go in the fucking gym at all until he got lean. So keep going.
I mean, he could just the first 50 pounds could literally just walk. Maybe go to the gym, do like a couple machines,
do some shit,
couple machines and stuff twice a week, but just walk. Get your body walking. I find the secret to becoming a fat burning machine is simply just to move.
Bro, you know, so the reason I don't do a whole lot of dedicated cardio anymore, I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
One is because, you know, fucking old joints and shit, right? But also now I'm thinking about just preservation of my fucking body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not doing as much hit cardio then, but also it's like I just track how many calories I burn throughout the day. I have a finish, and so I'm just trying to burn throughout the day, like either walking, like you said, moving around. That's why I got the desk bike. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with the dike. I mean, I'm riding the dike. I got 2 dikes in the house.
How much are you trying to burn a day on top of your BMR?
I mean, I tell you exactly, man. Like I'm not even guessing.
Right.
Like it's total. It is active and total. So I go with total and total calories. You know, it depends on. I averaged this month of January because I don't want to show them my current one. But January I averaged about 22,000 a day. You know what I'm saying? You know,
2,200.
2,200 total, right? Yeah. And but my consumption was I'm sorry, 3,000. I'm sorry,
that's your total, including your rest.
Yeah, that's 3,000. I'm sorry, but my consumption was lower, right? Because I was cutting this month,
right?
So it's I read the wrong thing, but you know, I just track it, but I tried it. But in order to do that, I got to be active all day, right? So a lot of walking. Either I get on the work bike. Right, and I can do it super slow, but it's hours. So it adds
you do
up.
that for 2 hours, it adds up a lot,
bro. It adds up. And if I want to play, you know, I like playing Call of Duty Mobile or Smash Bros. I don't play it a lot, but I like to do it.
Which one? Which console?
Switch.
Sick.
Yeah. So, the rule is I can only do it on my bike.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So I might get caught up in Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah.
I might fuck around. I'll play one game. Then it's like fucking 20, 30 minutes later, but I've been on the exercise bike the whole time.
We got to do a video of us playing Call of Duty together.
Yeah. but you know, that way I made it fun. You know what
that
I'm
would
saying?
be a fun podcast, playing Call of Duty, talking shit, and then like talking about this stuff.
There's got to be a market for it.
Yeah, there's a market. I mean, like, is that kind of the Twitch concept or something?
Yeah, the motherfuckers are doing something on Twitch. I don't think I'm allowed to be on Twitch at 40.
No, you're definitely not.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed. I think you got to be
you know, there's
teenager.
something more fun about like video games have gone away from like the split screen kind of you versus me. It's all like you're entering the fucking metaverse, playing people all over the world. Yeah. But it's kind of fun when like two people are sitting down next to each other, playing against each other, you know?
It was that's what Smash Bros. That's why it's cool. You know, I remember when there was this game when you were probably super young, but it was on Nintendo 64 and it was GoldenEye.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that shit?
Sick. Yeah.
That shit. I think I was in college when that was out.
Oh shit.
That shit would have a whole dorm in a one fucking room waiting for their turn to play that.
And you
shit.
play like against each other, right?
Yeah, you have 4 motherfuckers.
And you get the golden guns, like one shot kill. No, that was
that shit.
But
it was something about all of us being in a room. Yeah, you know, it was cool.
Get the double DD Distolvers, whatever it was. I forget. Bro, that game.
That was that shit.
No, me and my brothers played that game like crazy.
You know, I never even had a fucking console. I just played it in college in other people's dorm rooms.
There's something magical about N64, the original.
It was legit. Yeah. All right,
timeless,
but for this guy, it's 300 pounds. Yo, just move more, man. Walking is the best. Yeah. I bought my mom a fucking treadmill. I was like, no, it was just a treadmill. I was like, yo, why you watching Wendy Williams or Steve Harvey or whatever? Fucking black ladies watch, right? Just walk. Yeah, just walk. And she lost like 100 pounds. Just walking. I didn't have to go to the gym at all. Like at all, bro. I had to do intermittent fasting because keto was just like, it's not gonna do keto, right? It's not for everybody, but she was like, just don't eat till 3. Just don't eat till 3. Walk while you watching these fucking shows. She lost 100 pounds, man.
It's insane.
Yeah, walking is super. It's underrated. Walking is underrated.
Honestly, like one of the good things to do is just give as little advice as you need to get the result. So if someone's doing everything wrong, and you just tell them, hey, you know,
do 2 things.
Just do 2 things. You know,
don't eat till 3,
and
then walk while you're watching Wendy Williams.
Yeah, I've been cutting like I've cut 5-6 pounds pretty quickly in the last few weeks, and I will after dinner, right? And I do big dinners. I'll walk for 40 minutes after dinner.
That's really good because it helps with insulin sensitivity and
for
shit
sure.
like that.
Yeah, the after dinner walk I find, because I find if you really want to maximize your steps, you're not going to get a ton of steps in just one walk. Right?
Nah, it's got to be
a couple.
the day, man.
So I find like the after dinner, most people are free after dinner. What are they going to watch Netflix or something? So like
just go for a walk
at 9 o'clock.
And if you got a girl, like walk with your girl. Walk your dog, walk your girlfriend, or you know what I'm saying, just go on a walk.
And if you think about it, like if you think about, mental health is a massive issue. People are struggling with, their mood, depression. If you think about it, how are you going to be happy if you're an alien looking down on someone? How are they going to be happy sitting down all day? Humans were meant to move. We're meant to explore.
Get out in nature too.
So even just going for a 30-minute walk twice a day will do so much, not just support fat loss, but it'll boost your mood. You'll be more creative. My best conversations and thoughts come from when I'm walking, actually.
So there's something magic about walking, man. Like when I went to a therapist when my father killed himself, right? And one thing he told me to do was just listen. I just want you to go on a 30-minute walk every day. No headphones, no phone, nothing. Just go on a 30-minute walk, once a day. And it had an impact on my mood. Like it had a real impact. And in my thoughts, I came up with good ideas because I was by myself, like alone with my thoughts. It's different in meditation when you're trying not to think, right? But I was alone with my thoughts, and I came up with good ideas. And when I do a speech or almost all the videos I ever made, I would just walk around in circles and come up with the speech. You know what I'm saying? And then back when I was a musician, like I've written songs, I would just walk around circles. Write the song in my head without even paper, and then just write. There's something about walking that does something for your brain. I think somebody should find a study to support that.
And there's also something really, really powerful about going outside. Even if you got a jacket on because it's cold out, getting that sunlight on your eyes. It's so like I was sleeping so well for a week straight, and then I had one day where I stayed in my apartment all day till 4 o'clock, and I was 3 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep.
First thing I do, you live by the beach, go for a walk in the morning.
The morning walk by the beach.
I do that shit on the water.
Even just 10-20 minutes makes such a big difference.
Watching the sunrise. Yeah. There's something magical about it, man.
Yeah, get outside early in the morning, get some steps in. When you have a lunch break, you got 15-20 minutes or maybe
that's what I did when I was working. Yeah,
get outside.
Working security. I would fucking go for that walk. And it was, even if it was Manhattan, though, it wasn't like nature, but it was still, still cool, man. And it's something special about walking, man.
And then like being in an office inside with high amounts of like fluorescent light bulbs and blue light and your computer and everything all day long, like disrupts your sleep function and it disrupts your mood. I actually have on my phone, I do, you can go to settings, you can go to search and settings, color filters, and you can turn on color filters. Oh yeah. And like you can make your phone red. Yeah. You can go super red, you can go slight red. Bro, like my eyes were getting so strained. I had to only wear like blue light blockers, and now I sleep better. My eyes are fine.
Yeah, no, it's something special about walking, man. So, homie, walk as much as possible. I'm telling you. And if you can track it, it's even better. But
walk. And if you can get a friend, like a girlfriend, a coworker, someone to walk with you, walking with someone is like it's so much. It goes by like I could walk 20,000 steps with someone.
Yeah. And it's something about going outside makes people happy. You ever seen like how excited kids are just to go outside? Yeah. Kids, dogs are fucking hype to go outside. Just like, I wish I was that excited about something. Right? Like the way they're excited just to go outside. But kids, man, just to go outside, they're fucking hype. I think it's a natural thing. Like we want to be outdoors.
Even I heard this recently. I was actually hanging out with this girl, and she was telling me. I didn't even know this, but apparently humans seeing too many right angles, like building, straight angle, everything's just right angle. It makes you more depressed because in nature we're not used to seeing
that makes
right angles everywhere. All the mountains, landscape. It's just like
that makes a lot of sense.
So there's some like sort of kind of very wealthy people that are building houses that don't have those right angles. People are going crazy in it. But like point is if you're in an apartment, if you're in a little box, and then go somewhere where you can see like the greenery, right? In New York, where you can see more like depth and curvature.
That's why I lived by Central Park on purpose.
Right.
Because I was on 72nd between Broadway and West End, right? So I was walking distance to the actual river
Mm-hmm.
so I can go see the water. Something about water was real peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can go to the park. It was about the same distance because I was in the middle. And I would do that shit frequently unless it got cold, you know.
Right.
But it did something for you. Or you know what? Speaking of fat loss,
Mm-hmm.
listen, what would be your advice to help somebody get under 10% body fat? What are some things they can do? What are some steps they could take?
Right. So, first thing I'll state is like for someone that has like a bunch of weight to lose and they want to get to 15%, you can give more general advice.
Okay.
If you're trying to push the echelon and get to 8%, you're going to push past the barrier of where you're comfortable, right?
Yeah, because the more fat, the leaner you are, the harder it is to lose.
The harder it is. And then like when you just are like, you know what, I'm going to eat more protein, I'm going to eat more fresh fruits, I'm going to fast, I'm going to lift weights, I'm going to walk, then your body might gravitate. If you do things right and you don't have like a binge eating personality, if you do things right, your body might gravitate to 12%. Maybe it's 14%, but it's somewhere around there. So if you want to get leaner, you're going to have to push through a little bit.
Yeah.
And so what I say is one.
Well, hold on. Before you get into that, that's a really good point you made, because a lot of times people get to the barrier and they feel like, oh man, I just can't lose no more. It used to be, they lost the first 50 pounds or 25 pounds super quick. But it's important for people to understand it. As you get leaner, it gets real difficult.
Yeah.
So I was glad you brought that up.
It's a big difference that no one talks about. Losing 10 pounds from 16% body fat versus losing 10 pounds when you're 12% is a completely different game.
I helped with this one guy I trained. He was obese. He lost 75 pounds in 75 days. But nobody's going to lose a pound a day if they're already super lean, right?
No.
It's impossible. But because he was so obese, the fat melts off.
Right.
But the leaner you get, the slower the fat loss happens.
For sure. And then also you can get a little bit more hungry, right? Because your body's wired for survival. So if you're trying to get to 5% body fat, your body, even if you're taking it slow, is going to say like you might find your T levels go down. You might find you get ravenous. You might find you get these certain effects. So anyways,
your body wants to hold on. Fat cells, we evolved to store fat for a reason, right? Your body wants to have a certain amount of fat. So like we're going against nature when we're getting super lean. You know
it's the simplest way to think about it is if we were our hunter-gatherer ancestors and you had 6% body fat and it was hard to find food for a few weeks, you're not going to fare. You're not going to fare very well compared to the guy that's got 16% or 12%.
Those people didn't fucking pass their genes on. We are descendants of people who held enough body fat to make it through famines.
Exactly. So if you want to get very, very lean, you have to at least know what your calories are. Yeah. The idea of just kind of being like, let me just eat healthy food and walk and then lose 5 pounds. You can do that at a certain level, but when you're like 10% cutting, you have to have a good idea of what your calories are. So, someone like Brandon that's very, very active, he's burning 3,000. Yeah, sure. He can cut on 2,500. But you're a bigger guy, moving a lot. So you have to know, okay, I'm burning 3,000. I'm eating around 2,500.
It's just math.
It's just math, right? Yeah. And so one, you want to make sure every day you're hitting the calories. 2, you want to make sure every day you're at least getting the steps. So you're burning the right amount. Yeah. So I recommend, for simple to get leaner, 10,000 is good. 12,000 solid, 14,000 is like the sweet spot for fat loss. If you want to lose fat, steps.
14,000
steps. If you want to lose fat aggressively, 14,000 is really, really good. Average.
I do 20 when I'm really cutting, but I'm an extremist.
20 is
that's like super. You can't give everyone that advice.
I'll do 20,000 a couple days a week, and then maybe some days I'll do 12,000. But I kind of average the 14, 15,000 is like really good for aggressive fat loss.
20 fucks your shoes up.
Yeah, and your fucking feet get blisters. Yeah, you need
new shoes. There was one point I did 40, bro. Yeah, I needed new shoes and I had blisters. I did it. It was over the top.
It takes like 10 minutes to do 1,000 steps. So like 40,000 is like 400 minutes of walking or something.
I would walk from 70 on. I would go on the there's this like road by the West Side Highway, and I would walk from 72nd Street all the way down to fucking Tribeca and back. With I don't know how many blocks that is, man. It's over about 100 blocks and back. That was part of it,
But honestly, my only advice would be the same thing you kind of told your mom is like, yes, get your steps in. 2, do the fast. I find that when you fast. It makes it easier to cut because you wake up, you fast, you almost get this positive reward where you complete something, you accomplish something. Oh, hey, I fasted at 3 p.m. You feel good. And a lot of times, you're like, wow, I get to eat 2,500 calories. It's 3 o'clock. And this is a lot of food. So it's kind of like a hack where you're like, wow, like a lot of my clients at first would be like, wait, I can eat all of this?
Yeah.
You know, when you're
a lot
it's a lot
instead of spreading it out through the day.
Yeah, it's oh my God, I can eat all this. So like it almost is like a bit of a hack. And I find when you fast every day, it's easier to kind of hit your calories. As if you eat breakfast, sometimes you want a snack. And so when you fast, I do the first 5 hours. That's so if you're up at like 8 in the morning, go to 1 p.m. I do the 5 hours. If someone wants to do more, they can do more. But I find for me, simple thing for that for the average person is do the 5 hour fast. And then
5 hours after you wake up.
Yeah, okay. I calculate it like that just because I find that like if you have more of a if you sometimes it's hard to finish eating the same time every night.
Yeah.
Maybe you came from a meeting, maybe you were at something and then you got home too late and it's after your fasting window, but you need to eat food. I think eat the food.
Yeah. So it's like the calories is what's
most important.
But it's difficult to get. It's difficult to overeat in a shorter feeding window, right? If you fast for a big portion of the day, it's super difficult to overeat.
Yeah, and sometimes when you really get dialed, you're cutting, you're fasting, you hit this point where your body doesn't really get as many cravings. Because a lot of hunger, what people think is hunger are cravings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that most people, when like, oh, I want to eat, it's not that they're hungry. It's not their body saying, hey, I need food. It's actually their mind saying, hey, I need something to snack on. I need some entertainment. I need something I need some fix. Or, my mood is a little bit low, so I want to get like some dopamine. So most times it's craving. So when you fast, you give yourself a break from that. And then you're like, okay, this is what hunger is. And then you kind of get dialed. You get into feeding your body really what it needs. And now you have so much control. Before you're controlled by food, now you have absolute control.
Yeah, you have more control. You have a better relationship with food.
So,
it sounds like you're saying do the opposite of what most people do. Most people, they eat all day, little snacks. So it ends up being a lot of calories. But like you said earlier, if you get more active during the day, like more walks, do more walks so you can burn more calories throughout the day, and then just eat during a short window.
Yeah.
Whereas people will eat all day and then work out for a short window. Where it sounds like you're saying flip that on its head, kind of.
Flip that on its head. Yeah. Start moving around throughout the day, walking more, get those 14,000 steps.
Yeah. Because you're not gonna get that in one sitting most of it.
Yeah. Do a short fast, do a fast every day. And then that's if you just hit your calories, get your steps in, and do a short fast. It's so easy to lean down. Now, of course, what you're gonna have to do to maximize your physique is you have to lift weights. Yeah. But I do 3 days. So I've done 2 days, but like 3 days I find for me is really the sweet spot. Lift weights 3 times a week. Yeah. And you don't have to go crazy, but the weights is important to actually tell your body to hold on to muscle tissue.
But to hold on to the muscle,
If we have Johnny here, or we have Pog you here, lose 20 pounds with just doing walking and diet, they're going to lose 10 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, if they don't lift weights,
you got
to tell your body that it needs to retain this muscle.
Right, and imagine dieting for weeks and weeks and months to lose 20 pounds, and then wait, what? 10 of it was muscle, 10 of it was fat.
Yeah.
Whereas if you lift weights, you can preserve your muscle tissue, and then you lose. Maybe you don't even need to lose 20 pounds. Maybe you lose 12 pounds, and it's all fat, and you have more muscle. So lifting weights,
heavy, right?
Heavy.
You want to lift relatively heavy to tell your body, hey man, you need this motherfucker still needs the muscle.
Yeah, I like the 5 to 10 rep range. Lifting weights where you're getting close to failure within 5 to 10 reps.
That's the range I always stay in. Somewhere between it, like probably like I pick a weight where 8 is kind of like failure. Close.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting with building muscle, you really only get 5 effective stimulating reps from an exercise or from a set. So basically, if you're doing 20 reps, the first 15 is getting you to the reps that count.
Yeah.
Now, if you're doing 5 reps, every single rep counts. You know, and if you do 10, then it's like 1, 2, 5 gets you there. Now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kind of build the muscle.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we just go straight to the good part.
So if you want to go straight to the good part, you got to go heavy. You got to go heavy.
That's what's up. So so basically, you want to, according to your steps will be 14,000 steps a day. That's
if you want to be aggressive.
All right. All right. And short feeding window. Right. Yeah. 5. Start eating. Don't eat till 5 hours after you wake up.
When you wake up, just first 5 hours, water, black coffee, sparkling water. You're up at 7 in the morning.
With calories.
Yeah. Nothing with calories. Go till 12. Go till noon. And then what I like to do is I like to do a lighter meal first. I like to
That's the thing. If you eat a big meal,
you lose that productivity.
Bro, you lose it.
And also for me, if I eat a big meal, sometimes I just want to keep snacking. It opens the floodgates. So you want it almost, for me, my first meal.
Continue.
For me, the first meal is sort of to satisfy me enough to get to the dinner. I'm not trying to get stuffed and full on the first meal. My dinner is where I can go crazy, eat a big steak, broccoli. For me, I'll do some potatoes.
My biggest meal is before I go to sleep. Because I want it to make me tired.
Exactly. So that's actually, there's a book, you might have seen this book, Ori Hofmeckler, Warrior Diet. He was an artist that was into fasting, and he found that like humans, we evolved, we're programmed to eat light during the day to stimulate our sympathetic nervous system. This is when we're alert, we're focused, we're energetic. If you're a security guard and you're protecting a house and there's someone's trying to break in, you don't want to have 2,000 calories.
Food coma. You have the itis sitting around like, oh man, they robbing. All right, man.
Sleepy, you want to kind of be sharp. And so I eat the bigger meal later. But that essentially that's what you do. You get your 14,000 steps in, you fast for the first 5 hours of the day, and you hit your calories. And what I recommend is goal body weight. Look at your goal body weight. Maybe you want to get to 180 pounds, maybe 170, maybe you're a big guy with muscle, you want to get to 200, right? Take your goal body weight, times it by 13. That's if you want to lose
your goal body weight.
That's
right? Different. Okay.
Yeah. Because if someone's got 30 pounds of fat and you use their current weight to predict your calories, all that extra fat doesn't help you burn more.
You're feeding the fat.
So go straight to the source. What's your goal body weight where you're lean?
And multiply by 13. That makes a lot of sense.
And that's good if you want to like get leaner, but also be able to support some level of muscle growth. If you were to take let's say you want to be 200 pounds, you're like, I want to go really aggressive. I'm going to do 11 calories per pound and do 2,200. It's going to be harder to like support strength and muscle. So I find to keep it really simple for a guy that's cutting, to 200 pounds, for example, like someone like you're burning 3,000. If you want to lose weight slowly and maximize strength and muscle, you do 2,600, 200 times 13. Now, if you want to go a bit more aggressive, you might go 12 times, do 2,400, which would be a bit more aggressive. So 13 calories per pound of goal body weight.
You got to remember, most of my calories are from protein too.
Shit.
So it's a little different.
That's a lot of meat. It's a lot of protein, but I do 13. And again, like if you want to go more aggressive, you can do 11 or 12, but when you're cutting, I find the last 5 or 10 pounds, 13 is the sweet spot.
That makes a lot of sense, man. That makes a lot of sense. Listen, we got to get up out of here, but I know let's just run through these last super chats. I think there's 3 of them.
100%, bro.
Yep. Okay. Rodrigo is asking, what does a full day of eating look like for Greg?
So I'll wake up at I'm up at like 10, 11. I'll fast till 4:30 p.m. I'll have my collagen protein, or Kino collagen. I'll mix it with 2% plain Greek yogurt. It's like a chocolate pudding. I'll have sliced banana in there, and I'll have sometimes a 200 calorie Rice Krispie square.
All right.
And it kind of it hits the spot. I'll do that, or sometimes I'll have an omelet and a little bit of a little piece of toast. And then for dinner, I'll have 14 ounces of a New York strip loin. Big steak. I'll have some broccoli. I love freaking that broccolini, that baby broccoli. I'll cook it in a little bit of olive oil, and then I'll have some potatoes. And then at that point, I'm probably around 2,000 calories, and then I'll have an extra 400 calories at night of chocolate, maybe a little honey. Honey actually is good for your tea production. It increases
no way.
Luteinizing hormone. Yeah, and actually, I first heard of honey. A lot of people that do low carb that have a hard time sleeping, they'll take honey at night because it can help with the sleep. But yeah, raw honey is good for tea production. It actually is a source of boron.
Where you get your steak from?
So sometimes go to Whole Foods and I'll get a New York steak, or I'll just go to a restaurant and just get a strip.
I got a whole list, bro,
of good steaks.
Man, the best restaurants in Miami.
The best restaurants.
Yeah, man. I'm a psycho.
You took me to that Capitol Grill was great, man. I gotta go back there.
We're gonna go to Mastro's. We're gonna go to Bunny. I have a whole I have a database of the best restaurants in every city, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to based by price.
What are your top 5 in Miami?
Top 5 in Miami. My girl likes Poppy Steak. That's her favorite. I like this place. It's closer to you. Barton G.
I haven't been there, bro. Barton G.
Barton G.
It's on the beach side.
Yeah.
Sick. I'll
That's
check
that
it out.
shit.
Bar and
No, we're gonna go.
Haven't been there. I'm down.
And I like
what time do you do your steak at?
I like Komodo.
Yeah.
This place is cool. It's fine. There's another one I like. Let me see. There's I like Capitol Grill, but you know it's a chain restaurant.
Steak is really the superfood, man.
Yeah, Mastro's, bro. Mastro's my favorite. It's my favorite restaurant. We're gonna go. They just opened the one on Biscayne. We're gonna hit it up.
Mastro. I actually was in. I had one bad experience at Mastro's when I was in LA.
Oh, it's Los Angeles, man.
The LA. It was yeah. They put it was like so like I'm getting leaner, right? And so you know if you're having a 14-ounce New York strip, you have a certain range of what the calories are going to be. There must have been like 500-600 calories of butter that they added to the steak. I had I had a few bites and
we don't worry. I know the manager at this Mastro's.
Well, make sure, you know.
Yeah.
I don't mind a little bit of butter on the steak, but when it's like if I'm tasting, you know, more butter than steak, it's yeah, they messed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, man. Listen, we'll fix that. Well, what else we got?
We'll fix that.
So a keto diet good enough to build muscle? You don't need carbs to gain.
We kind of did that one.
Yeah. You don't need. He's asking again. You don't need carbs. You don't need carbs for anything. Right, like you know what I'm saying. There's essential amino acids, essential fatty acids. There's no such thing as essential carbohydrate. Right, it's just not a thing. Right, you know. But you don't have to believe me. Here's a study. They did keto versus the traditional Western diet. It was the same. There was no benefits to either one. It was the same. However, I will say that there's probably is some advantage. That's what the study says. But my brain tells me there's probably some advantage to the insulin spike that you get from carbohydrates, because insulin is an anabolic hormone, but the studies say it's the same, right? And so you know what I'm saying, there's no such thing as a essential carbohydrate, essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, carbohydrates. All right.
Okay, Tony is asking, hey, love both of your guys' work. Was wondering when's the best time to lift. I'm already used to lifting early morning, but should I switch it up?
Doesn't matter. Unless you have some different insight.
The only caveat is that first thing in the morning, your CNS, the powerhouse that's going to bring your muscles into action, fire muscles into action, is the least kind of active. So very first thing in the morning, you ever try to open a can of jar in the morning?
No.
It as your body warms up, your CNS kind of wakes up. So first in the morning, if you do want to lift weights first in the morning, caffeine helps wake up your CNS. But if I
do 4 shots of espresso when I wake up.
Yeah, that helps wake up your CNS. But if you were just to kind of wake up and within 30 minutes lift some weights, you're going to be at your weakest. So if you're doing a meet, let's say you were like, I want to hit a crazy 1 rep max, the afternoon you're going to be the strongest.
Okay.
For like a 1 rep max, but whatever time you're used to training, it all evens out because
there's a benefit to you. I will say if you know. There's been times where I
also like to kind of work out before my biggest meal, right? So if I'm having dinner as my biggest meal, I don't want to work out after.
I've done that, and it fucks with my sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
If I work out too late. So those not first thing in the morning and not the last thing at night. Any other time is fair game.
Okay, we got the pug. It's me again, the 308-pound guy. I used to bench watch Kinobody when he was 160 pounds and was pushing chest like 275 pounds, but it's like 5 years now. Will I have a muscle memory effect after this long period of time?
So this guy was 160, now he's 308. Is that whole
5 years? You could do a lot of damage in 5 years.
Damn.
Man.
Yeah. Will I have muscle memory? Yeah.
I mean, my son was 1 years old in 5 years. He's grew a lot. He's put on a lot of pounds. Wow. It's 5 years is a long time, man. My son was still shitting on himself. Now he's doing math.
He's got to go on. He's got to go on Hinge and use his 160-pound photos and then show up. It's me.
It's unhinged.
Unhinged. Yeah. You still will have muscle memory, right? So you'll still have. So muscle comes back. That's the benefit. If you lose muscle, it comes back faster. But if you gain 100 pounds of fat, it's still gonna suck balls to cut it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no like. You know, so the muscle will come back, but like you have to catch yourself before you do that much damage. Like if I'm up, like I'm pretty strict, right? So like, okay, if I look at my best 175, 177, if I'm up 5 pounds, I'm like, okay, we got to sharpen up here. If I'm at 182, you know, so maybe I'm a little bit of a freak, right? But if you're up 15 pounds, for most people, if you're 15 pounds above your normal weight, that's 3 months of cutting. You don't want to go more than 3 months away from your goal. So
I'm never 2 weeks away from like a photo shoot if I need to be.
Yeah,
like a real photo shoot. Like I can get there in 2 weeks. It's you know, so you got to get to that weight and you'll have some muscle memory. The beauty is you'll lose fat fast because you got a lot of weight to lose, but just know it's going to slow down the more you lose. But you'll be able to get some quick wins if you focus.
Yeah, get some quick wins. But it all comes down to standards, right? You have standards with, you know, your business, your money making, you have standards with your physique. And so the key to motivation is actually to set standards.
Yeah, you're not going to rise to your ambition, you fall to your standard.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the standard has to be, you know, for me, my standard is, you know, I want to be like very lean, like anything above 10%. I'm like, this is pish posh.
You know, my face, I have a lot of fat cells in my face or whatever. Yeah. So like whenever I get I'll still have a 6-pack, but my face will look like an emoji.
Chunky.
You know what I'm saying? I look like Pac-Man, like a black Pac-Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And the last one, I'm just going to, it's just funny. Yo, Brandon, who do you pick in the Smash?
Samus, the white girl.
Samus.
Yes, okay. that's my jam.
That's it.
All right, yo, man, great, man. Where can they find out more information about you?
Yes, there's 2 places to go to. One is I'm very active daily on my Instagram at Grego Gallagher. And then second place is essentially, you know, going to Kinobody.com. That's where I got all my stuff, program, supplements like that. Those are my 2 places. And then, you know, you can probably find me on YouTube.
And both links are in the description, guys.
We got both links in the description. Great. Thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure. You know
Thank you, my man.
Now that you're in Miami, at least half the year, man, we're gonna kick it, man.
We gotta hit some steaks.
Come on, man. You know what
we're gonna order 2 steaks.
2 steaks.
Yeah, 32 ounces each. Yeah.
Let's go. Guys, remember, if you haven't already, subscribe to Big Money Methods newsletter. To, you know, it's like free, and it's methods to help you make some big money, man. You know what I'm saying? It's free. You know, articles written by me and the homies. I got a new one out right now. Go check it out.
The joy of missing out.
Come on,
love
man.
That.
You know what it is. You know,
Jomo,
man. All right, listen, guys. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Holla at y'all. Peace.